It's a job. It's a job. It's not a description.
Yeah, have you joined the sports gang?
No.
Because the whole of 2020, they did not allow me breathe. Like, every small cup of water I drink.
Yeah, but you're also part of a sport team.
And they always have a way of reminding me ahead of news. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Exactly. Sometimes it's infuriating. Like, what's wrong with you people? Can we just do this job and get away?
Yeah, we can, actually. It's good to have you here, Ukuma.
Great to be here.
What a year. We'll get to it later.
You know why it's great?
Why?
My family's around.
All the way from PH?
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. Nata Lee is here. Nata from China, I think. Wait first. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be in the studio today. Okay. And I can't even wait to have a conversation. I mean, 2020 has been 1 year.
Right.
I had so many things planned out, but
it's not been easy, right?
At all.
Oh.
But I'm grateful to be alive.
Well, you don't look it. I mean, everyone would have thought that.
Don't mind that.
Yeah.
Trust me.
For me, fine girl inside studio here.
Well,
what is your own
trying
now?
to confuse some
Can
of us.
I talk?
Oh my goodness.
What is it? Was I talking to you?
There's a saying that you don't have to look like your struggles.
Go on, you later.
Right, you don't have to look like your struggles, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to come out and look like the world has ended.
Exactly, that's the point.
It's called packaging right. So I think I get it all the time.
Ah.
I always get it
Thumbs
all
up.
the time.
Thumbs up.
Right.
Believe it or not, Sheriff.
Yeah.
I haven't slept a second.
No, you don't look it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You don't look it, actually.
Right.
You don't look it. Whatever it is. Thank you guys for coming around. Others are joining us online right now. Do we have Onyechi is online. Onyechi, hi, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa. Good day, everyone. I'm looking forward to this. I feel like I even want to be a listener today because this lineup is about to be fire, and that studio might just burn down.
Please don't burn it
I
down.
should be live in the studio soon.
Okay.
Onyechi, we understand that some of our guys will be online because we're trying to maintain COVID protocol.
We're a responsible organization.
Yeah, we are like that. So we need to maintain that. Onyechi, thank you for coming around. We're expecting others to join us as well as we go along on the show today. So, guys, shall we begin? First and foremost, I'm going to take random thought as to generally how, I think I know the answer, but it goes without saying. But let's just put it out there. How 2020 has been or was like for individual, for you, for me. Let's start with Onyechi. Onyechi, 2020,
Yes.
to you personally, how would you describe it to you, not to everybody else, to you specifically?
I would say 2020 was challenging in the sense that in a good way and a not so good way. In a good way because it pushed me and stretched me and helped me discover sides of me that I didn't know I had. For example, the first lockdown that we had, we at the station started ours even before the federal government announced that for the nation. So we were locked in like a few days earlier than the general one. And I'm a student as well, and school was online for me. Thank God I attend an institution that was able to go online.
Right.
So it was crazy because those of us who were locked down in the studio, we were working overtime, working longer hours than we would have in normal situations. And I had to do that, and I had to do school as well. So it was mentally tasking for me. It was stressful. I don't advise that kind of mental stress, but it stretched me, and I'm better off for it today. I also discovered some aspects of me on the job that I didn't know I had, and I'm willing to explore now going forward. So, I mean, there was that as well. There was the paranoia of not being able to go out. Even when we were free to go out, I stayed indoors for a while. I had phobia for markets. I wanted to cook, but I did not want to go to the markets because I'm like, hey, how will I do this thing now? I just, and I have very minor OCD traits, so it can be stressful for people like that in these times. Also, I mean, there was the money aspect, and it's interesting because I know a couple of people who have been saying they made their first million this year. Money has been moving for them. I'm just like, hey, God, I don't understand. People are thriving even in the midst of chaos. But I mean, it was a challenging year in a good way and in some uncomfortable ways. But I mean, what is growth without some form of discomfort, right? So that's it for me.
I know. Nita.
Well, I think Onyechi has almost said everything. But one thing that happened this year that I never imagined would have ever happened in my life. January, I was still on the Fashion Lens.
Yeah.
Yes, I was still hosting that. And I got
Yeah.
to stream from the house. And I remember back in the house, I have to shut my windows, get under my duvet because I didn't want some sound in my recording. So, yes. For me,
you were presenting from home.
I was presenting, and sometimes I would have to record. So it was really challenging and at the same time very interesting. You need to see me. I wish I took a picture and posted it. It was hilarious. So yes, for me, that's one challenge in 2020 that I enjoyed exploring. But also looking at the business side, because I'm also a businesswoman aside from being an on-air personality.
I know. That's why I say you didn't
no,
look here. You
Lagos, do not believe. I need help. Right. So
do give away now.
Oh, please, you're my boss. You are my boss.
Who's your boss?
Onyechi, come on.
Who's your boss? See your boss there, Sheriff.
Anyways,
do give away now.
Still talking about the whole business thing, and I want to believe that business people out there can also relate to this. It's been one challenging year. Very, very challenging. But hey, like Onyechi said, what is growth without a bit of discomfort? But all round, I'm also grateful because I started my Sunday morning show today, and I
this year
this year. Around I think March. Yes. And I make bold to say that we are number 2 in Lagos right now. So yes, where's the shakere? Yes. So yes, that's the highlight for me for 2020.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
You know.
Do give away.
On that note, I am done. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Ufama, you're such a bully.
Am I?
2020 to you.
Wow. Where do I start from? So the honest truth is, I'm a very honest person.
Yeah.
I know. I don't need you to tell me. And
I wasn't going to tell you.
the one thing I do, the one hallmark of my broadcasting career that I love so much is the fact that I could just go on air and say the craziest things. Not the ones that will get me NBC trouble, by the way. But just literally tell you everything about myself. 2020 started very, very well. It was a brilliant start to the year for me. Matter of fact, the first 3 months of the year was, I think, my best in a long while. Of course, got this promotion and, started this big responsibility. And I was really looking forward to it. So many plans and all of that. And then COVID happened.
Boom.
Yeah.
It literally, it more or less felt like it turned my world upside down. So the first shock or the first reality was that my family, who was already planning to come spend the Easter holiday. By the way, in case you do not know, my family live in Port Harcourt and I live alone here as a married bachelor. Like Sheriff likes to call me. Even though we're both in the same shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So as I was saying, so we had to cancel that because of the lockdown. And then we didn't know, it just came like a bolt from the blue. At first we were thinking, it's just over there in Europe, and America. It's not going to come this way. That was the thought some of us had. And then, boom, first case. Boom, lockdown. And like Onye said, we literally had to be... The lockdown was... We are locked inside of our houses. So, to give a vivid picture, the driver comes to the office apartment, picks you up.
Everybody.
Come to the office. As soon as you're done, they pick you back to the house.
No interaction whatsoever with the outside world.
It was literally from your room to the office, from the office to your room. Trust me, it was mentally draining. At a point in time, I think I remember sending a message to the CEO like, I need to get out.
Dude,
at this point.
Release me.
Funny enough, when he eventually allowed us at least a day out, there was no way to go.
Yeah.
The only thing I did was drive to the Palms,
Yeah.
drive back. What's it called? A hotel roundabout.
Yeah.
Drive down the road.
Yeah.
Just literally driving down the empty road just to clear my. that's how crazy it was. But all in all, it's been really challenging. Trust me, it's been. I've for the first time in my life, I've been depressed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had to suffer depression. I've had to deal with the challenges, and then of course dealing with the challenges of not having your family around. I'm managing. Goodness me. Work, family, thinking about what's going to happen next. Lost my grandma, had issues with my mom. It was a crazy year, but all in all, the good news is today is the 17th, yeah?
18th.
Oh, 18th.
Yeah.
We are alive.
Yes, we are.
Most importantly.
Not so many people had that can
Boast of
talk to
that.
the camera and the microphone and say they are alive.
Right.
We can breathe. There's hope that we can eat tomorrow, so just thankful. It's been a crazy year, but it's been wonderful.
Yes,
you
indeed.
know, one more thing that 2020 has taught me is to appreciate the little things of life. I mean, being able
Exactly.
to hug somebody,
Exactly.
give somebody a high five.
I mean,
We took
didn't.
that
We
for
took
granted.
it. Exactly.
Have you hugged?
We didn't know that.
I'm not.
I haven't.
I'm not gonna say what will put me in trouble, but I'm just saying the little things of life. You just get to understand that you shouldn't take these things for granted.
Right.
So that's what
indeed.
2020 really taught me. Yeah.
Freeze is joining us right now. Freeze, good morning to you. Hi, Freeze, are you there? Oh, okay. We're going to.
Freeze is frozen. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to go to Wamimo here in the studio while we wait for Freeze to join us. Wamimo, how are you?
On my mic.
Off your mouth.
That's one thing that came out of 2020.
That's one of the hallmarks of 2020.
Oh my goodness.
And by the way, Chef, I'm sure you did that promo.
Before Uncle.
I'm sure you did that promo.
Before, just you know.
It's your handiwork.
Why you?
Well, didn't you do it?
Sheriff and a friend of mine, Patson, literally turned me popular in Port Harcourt.
Hey,
Really?
Both of them with a promo.
no thanks.
It's a joke.
No jokes.
Wow, 2020 was ease. It's not over yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a
Yes.
roller coaster year. I mean, and I think that's just the best way to put it. It's like you keep rolling from one thing into the other. Like when you say like it shock you kind of year, where stuff just keep hitting you in the face everywhere you turn. I mean, we started the year, everyone hyped and 2020,
Excited.
20 to the 20, hey, everything was, and then came everything just happening. School shut down. We all thought it was a joke. COVID was just going to be here for maybe 2-3 weeks and then we'll be back. And then we're all locked down for 6 months. And of course, the land borders have been shut for a while. So recession hit, a lot of stuff happened back to back. Even here, many people had to work from home. We had to have our shows, some of the shows from home.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
That's
something
right.
huge. I mean, we never thought we'd do
Exactly.
Right.
that.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
Never thought we'd do that.
And we didn't even prepare for
we
it.
didn't-
That
Nobody
big
did
head that
all.
calls herself Sandra literally had cats. Her cats.
And a duvet.
Yeah.
Mention that duvet.
Yeah. I remember.
I mean, it's just
Honestly, we learned some hacks to record from home in that.
Yeah.
yes.
yeah,
Yes, we
hacks
did.
like how you could stuff your head in your wardrobe and make
And-
and make good sound.
Trust me.
How you can turn your bedroom into a studio. So it's just that year that taught us to innovate in the midst of bad things happening. But overall, we are all just excited that we're still here, and this year is just going to make us all 10 better, I believe.
Indeed.
Hopefully.
Indeed. Thank you, Wamimo. Let me see if we can speak with Freeze right now. Freeze, are you with us now?
Are you on Frozen?
Okay, Freeze is here. Hi, Freeze. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Sheriff?
Very
Lovely
well.
seeing you. Lovely having a show with you. This is my first.
Hey, where's the shekere?
Here.
It's good to have you here. 2020, how has it been? to you personally, your experience in 2020 personally.
2020 has been a defining year. It's a year of many possibilities and many impossibilities. 2020 was a year that freaked me out right from the beginning. I never believed that I could get this scared. I'm one of those people who overanalyzes everything. So I overanalyzed the year. Oh my goodness. The little knowledge I had on viruses, the little knowledge I had on pandemics, the little knowledge I had as the son of a medical doctor, all started playing around in my head and creating these huge monsters. So I was stuck working from home. It was heavy because, first of all, it's never been done before.
Yeah, I know.
At least not in Nigeria. No one's ever done radio from home. So it was a challenge for everyone. Then there was a curfew that ended at 10, and my show started at 10. How do I beat the curfew when driving to work I could get caught in the curfew?
Right.
You know, and just as it was easing out, the numbers were not stable. Unrest was gathering and garnering, and before you knew it, SARS came up on us.
Right.
But you see, financially, funny enough, 2020 was okay because I'd always worked online.
Right.
I had more time to trade Forex. I had more time to do online marketing.
Yeah. Do give away. Do give away.
It wasn't such a punch. I didn't feel the financial punch. Many people, oh my God, my business died. No, it was actually a good year. I hate to admit it.
Daddy Freeze, I'm going to send you my account number after
No,
this.
but sincerely, I can relate with that. If I'm going to be very truthful, this year, you know, I was telling myself some weeks ago when we more try go. This year, I really worked hard. No, as in, I talk true. As in, I really deserve a Seychelles trip. Like, no, you tried. Yeah.
No, when you say you worked hard, you mean you made a lot of money.
Yes, I mean, so last week.
Just say it
I mean, I
so
worked.
that people can
Yes,
ask
I was so
to
because
give away.
To give away.
Someone asked me this morning already because my birthday is in 2 weeks. I was saying, do give away. Or not, you are wrong. If you say you are wrong.
Oh, wrong now.
Oh, wrong, gone. And I mean, I do birthday and I will go see this. But sincerely, this year gave us opportunities to look for, or, you know, open doors to look for opportunities online. If you've got stuff, this is a year where you could, you know, do stuff with so many people who are not even in Nigeria.
Right,
If you're the hard, and this year, no, ma, talk true. I worked really hard, and you know, I was doing my account balancing last week. I'm like, oh my, hey,
cash money.
Slave don't have money.
Yeah, you'll try.
guys, let's go to break.
Yeah.
When we return, we'll hear from Sandra and the rest of the cast joining us right now. Stay here on Nigeria Info. It's still Table Talk.
9.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
www.remita.net to start making payments now. because payment should be easy. Hey, Doredo, better than safe. Now 10 gigabyte data just land my Airtel so. Guess how much? 3,000 naira. 3K waiting for 10 gigabyte data. You shock, Abi? Make I add extra shock. 5,000 naira go give you 20 gigabyte data. Now so be safe for shock. Oh.
That's right. With Airtel data, just a little more gets you so much more. Introducing Airtel More for More data plans, like 10 gigabytes for just 3,000 naira and 20 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Dial star 141 hash today to experience the power of advanced 4G LTE connection from Nigeria's widest 4G network.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's Christmas season and Adrian Lemon Friday is here again. This time, it's bigger and better. Now is your time to become a landlord. Enjoy up to 40% discount this Lemon Friday with special goodies delivered to your doorsteps. Buy a piece of land from Adrian Homes this Christmas and enjoy mouth-watering Christmas gifts like double-door fridge, Adrian seasoning pack, electric iron, blenders, deep freezers, refrigerators, 49-inch TV, 50 kg bag of rice, turkey, vegetable oil, and a whole big cow. To enjoy this amazing Lemon Friday offer, subscribe to any Adrian land within our estates in Shimawa, Ibejuleki, Ekwe, Badagry, Imota, Abeokuta, Ijebu-Ode, Shagam, Atonta, Ibadan, Osun, Nasarawa, and Abuja with an initial deposit of 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 naira or more. For more information, call this number 0805-625-9683, 0905-897-0587. This is a special Lemon Christmas like no other. Offer valid from October 2020 to January 2021. This Lemon Friday, we move.
That na how person we just cash out on top betking.com they shout oh, and you sef it be like by winning millions when you play online or when you waka enter any betking shop. Yes, payouts will cut. Oh, that's one na sharp something. Whether na weekday oh, whether na weekend oh, even for public holiday dem full ground. No do yourself oh, visit betking.com. Make yourself start to dey win today. BetKing, the playground for kings.
Virtual meetings, online shopping, mobile payments, and even online weddings. Alert, your pocket-friendly digital bank is your plug to own your world as you can transfer funds, pay bills, buy airtime and data, and perform all bank transactions from your comfort zone with zero stress and zero hassle. Download the Alert app today on Google Play Store and on the iOS App Store.
Alert, powered by Wema Bank.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk. People of a common purpose, searching for answers. Anger and tensions rise. A nation on the verge.
Primary duty of the police and other law enforcement agencies remains the protection of lives.
People of frayed nerves.
What's going on here? Nigeria is very underdeveloped. How can we not have lights in the 21st century?
Events defining the course of humanity.
The coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has affected the way
all on the round table. Join Sheriff Quadri, Ahoho Obo, Sandra Ezekwesili, Ufoma Egbamuno, Wemimo Adewuni, and Joyce Onyemuwa on the round table. As we take a deeper retro look at major events that shaped the year 2020. The round table, 9 a.m. Friday, December 18, 2020. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
And yes, we're back on the round table. Apologies. It's the round table. Hey.
It's a table talk.
It's going on. I see that very close to me here. Reminds me of me handing over to her. Guys, you're welcome to the show. It's the round table here on Nigeria Info. And the cast, they're all here. Before we get into the conversation, we're trying to bring you all in and let you know how 2020 has affected us, individually, so that you can get to know us personally and deeper and connect with us, that we're just like yourself.
And you normal human beings. Drink Gary sometimes.
Add groundnut, sugar, and milk.
Cold water.
Oh my God!
And come on air and say hello, Lagos.
I know. So let's get to hear from Sandra Ezekwesili, who is joining us right now. Sandra, hi. Good morning to you.
Hi, Sheriff. Good morning.
And the rest of the people are here. Tell us, what's 2020 like for you?
Oh my God, the year of firsts. That's what 2020 has been. It's the year of firsts. So it's the year that I first thought that I would be alive for the Third World War, because remember that
We almost had that.
because we zoomed into 2020, and Trump gave us New Year's gift, and assassinated Iran's top henchman. So all the jokes about World War III, all the questions about whether nuclear will reach us for Nigeria where we day. So for the first time in my life, I would be alive during a war. So that was a first. The second first was being in a pandemic. The third first was being exposed to somebody who was carrying the COVID-19 because I went to AMBCA. The fourth first was doing a radio show live from home.
With your cats.
I've never done my radio show. I was talking about it yesterday when I was doing my year in review on Hard Facts. And
What was that? What was that?
Like
DJ.
I talked about how I from my bedroom, and I never thought it was possible. But 2020 said to us, this is the year that you learn how to do a lot of things for the first time. So that's what 2020 has been, to be honest with you. It's the year that we're looking at America's democracy crumble before our eyes. It's the year that Nigerians have organized, mostly online, to bring the country to its knees, demanding for justice regarding police brutality. It's the year of firsts. That's what 2020 has been.
Nice, very deep. That Blessing is here. You don't usually see or hear her during the daytime.
She's a night
she's
caller.
a night caller. That Blessing hosts the chat station. She hosts the night chat station here on Nigerian for Ada. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Sheriff. How are you?
It's just Sheriff.
Right. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well.
And good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Good morning. Nice seeing you all.
Hey, Ada Blessing.
Hey.
So tell us,
Hi,
Ada, what's 2020? What's it been like for you?
In all honesty, I'm going to say 2020 has been one of my most amazing years. I know it's quite shocking. I mean, it's the year I joined Nigeria Info. In fact, I joined in the month of March.
Right.
It was like I just entered Lagos, and then they said, "All right, Nigeria shut down. No moving anymore." But then I got the job, and I was already in Lagos. I was like, "Oh wow, okay." And then again, it's been a year of, do I say an eye opener? Yeah, because it's like, all right, some things are so possible. Like I've been working with someone who's been working from home since March.
Yeah.
Like I practically have a co-host that I don't see. I have a co-host that I don't get to see. We just talk.
It's
over
true.
the
Wait.
phone, but then
Never seen each other.
It's true from the beginning. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so some things are actually achievable. 2020, nice.
Yeah.
And also, it's been a Sorosoke year.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Where Nigeria youth are like, we're not shutting up no more.
Yeah.
Our voices need to be heard and all of that. So it's been a great year. And aside the work, sometimes just stay at home, comfort of your home, and then you're making money and like, oh wow, this year is great. But the distance from people and family, not that good. But so far, it's been awesome.
Yeah, indeed. Guys, ladies, welcome to the round table. You're not going to tempt me again with that table. Welcome to the round table. But then we have to start the show right away, but not before I share my own 2020 experience. It's been a challenging year, 2020 year. It's been a year that I got to undertake some really tough job, very, very difficult job, extremely difficult at a time when, number one, virtually the economy is on a nosedive, and you want me to perform magic to turn the fortune of the station around. It was tasking, but we were able to do it. I didn't do that actually. The team did that. Just so you know, I say this always on my show that when you hear us say that we are the nation's #1 talk station, we don't say it because we want to say it. We say it because we have the numbers to back it up.
Yeah.
And that's because of the effort that everybody put in, even when the realities of life was hitting everybody so hard.
Yes, I was going to say louder, please.
Yeah.
Louder. The people at the back can't hear you.
Yeah.
It was so hard for everybody. It was so difficult. I remember the day I broke down on air. That was during the lockdown, and I was having this edition where I was asking people to share their experiences during the lockdown, how the economy is hitting them hard. And people started to share their stories. It was so pathetic. It was so emotionally draining. I cried on air that day because it was so exhausting what people were going through. I was alone in the studio. I was almost alone in the entire building because, I mean, you're not even allowed to come in.
Yeah.
So I won't forget the experience of this year.
Ever.
Right.
It's not going to leave.
Everybody say ever.
Oh my goodness.
They have clowns.
Okay, let's get serious. So cheers to 2021. We'll make magic happen in 2021. That's a promise.
Right.
Now let's get to what people are here to talk to us about. That's the major event for the year 2020.
Everybody talks.
But we keep you informed
24/7.
Do they understand what the Constitution is all about? They're supposed to be the ones that will say, okay, well, you can protest, but don't do this, don't do that.
Protest is part of democracy. Whether it's irritation or not, it's part of democracy.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Yes, it's 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's get talking, shall we? Let's start with the first major event locally, which is, of course, the outbreak of Lassa fever. It shook the entire country, and when news broke that a lot of people were dying due to the outbreak of Lassa fever. From the record that we had, the first news that we heard was about 29 people had died. That was on the 24th of January. That was the day after my birthday. It was such a sad one in 11 states. We talked about this particular issue here on Nigeria for more. I want to start with you. The Lassa fever issue. We always say that these things happen every year.
All right, that's the annoying thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a ritual in Nigeria. I mean, the year started with us having those numbers. Unfortunately, those numbers paled compared to the death that would come from COVID.
Right.
But Lassa fever is such an important topic because it's yearly in Nigeria. It's more annoying because we talk about it on Nigeria Info every year. You know how annoying it is that you're talking about the same thing, especially something that affects the lives of people. People die. It's even more annoying that we profess solutions on Nigeria Info. We bring the experts that talk about what Nigeria should be doing to avoid those deaths. But people die again every year. Unfortunately, we might have more deaths next year. Because it appears that the NCDC is now focusing a lot on COVID. Yeah, maybe they still have few people looking at Lassa fever. But Lassa fever is caused by rats.
We know when to expect it.
They defecate on food openly sourced
Gary.
and thank you. And I like Gary, and you don't.
Who does? Well, maybe some people.
You don't watch Gary.
I don't actually. I do not like Gary.
What a pity.
No, for real.
You don't watch Gary when you want
What a
to eat
pity.
it. You just eat it.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even such a high cause of Lassa fever. You just pour it in the cup and you drink it. You
Just
don't
take
cook
it.
it. So, and what do we need to do? We've had Rotimi Sankore here yearly say.
Yearly.
Ministry of Agriculture, work together with the Ministry of Health, work with these farmers to elevate, their drying processes, make a mechanism, the agriculture more mechanized, just make things easier. Put batch numbers on food items. easy stuff. If your Gary is coming from this company, put a batch number on it. So if we know that someone has an infected batch of Gary, we can tell everyone who's got Gary with this batch number to send them back or not to eat them. Sounds so easy until it is Nigeria.
Indeed. Very, very true. Very true. Ufama, the Lassa fever controversy, it needs to end. And needs to end.
Definitely,
very, very
it does need to end. To make matters, I don't know, interesting is not the word. To make matters sad, as at the 3rd of December, about 172 people have died from Lassa fever in Nigeria. One death is not good enough. Talk less of 172. These are deaths that can be avoidable if, like Wemimo said, we just do the right things. And unfortunately, 2021 is going to most likely start again, and you would hear Lassa fever coming up all over again. So one way or the other, we need to avoid these avoidable deaths. We can't have 172 persons, die from something as
avoidable as
Lassa fever. But the sad part is that, unfortunately, in Nigeria, human life doesn't look like it's now important again.
Right.
It doesn't look like we just hear, an accident happened, 20 people died. Oh, okay.
It's just a number.
Bomb blast happened, 50 people died. Okay. COVID-19, 70 people died yesterday. Okay. It's become like a number for us. Whereas in some other countries, in saner countries, one human being, they go the extra mile, to one of the saddest days in American history that caused the World War. Only had less than 2,500 people. But every year, they keep celebrating it in December, more like to remember the deaths. If not for COVID-19, they had never had that kind of number before. But in Nigeria, it just feels like it's now about the numbers. 50 have died, 20 have died.
It's just news.
We move on.
Indeed. Sandra, anything you want to chip in on Lassa before we move away?
I think Ufoma and Wemimo have done it quite justice. And it's like Wemimo said, the thing with Lassa is that it's now an annual thing. It's a seasonal thing.
Right.
The fact that it keeps happening shows that there are serious environmental issues that we simply don't have the will to solve. I mean, for a moment there in January and February, a lot of people were saying Lassa is bigger than COVID. Lassa fever is a bigger deal than COVID because it had killed so many people and we still had 0 COVID cases in Nigeria. So people were making an argument for, now they carry COVID for our head when Lassa fever day for here, But I guess at the end of the day, Lassa fever is seasonal, so there was a limit to what it can do. COVID, on the other hand, is still with us, and it's looking like a second wave is coming. But
second wave is here.
We decide that we want to get rid of this Lassa fever thing. I think we can do it. But like I said earlier on, there simply is no will to tackle this particular problem. There's no will to do it. And I don't know where we can get a bucket of will from and distribute it.
Right.
But until then, here we are.
Chukwudi is here with us as well. Chukwudi, good morning to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sheriff. Thank you so much, Neita. Thank you so much.
Do you have to do this? That's our clown. Do you?
The truth is, I mean, different strokes for different folks. In 2020, rather than think about the things that you highlighted and wanted to achieve, it's important that you thank God for life. I mean, I experienced it firsthand. While Sandra was working from home, I was in the studios. I was away from my family for like 2 months.
Straight up.
Because immediately they knew that the reason why you are here is because of, they just said, please, just stay there. Just stay there so that you are all right. We know you are a strong man, but just stay there. So it was really very, very trying and very difficult. Now, coming back to this issue, let us not forget that it's not just about Lassa fever. It's also about our attitude towards issues that a lot of Nigerians are faced with. So if you read the metro section of the newspapers, you would see a lot of, unknown, unnamed, strange ailments, strange illnesses. You say 40 die from strange illness in Kogi, in Enugu, in this, in that. Now, government officials are quick to respond and say, we don't know what it is. They don't know what it is, but they are quick to say it is not coronavirus.
Yeah.
It is not Lassa fever, but we don't know what it is.
And we never try to find out.
And we never try to find out.
Or
So
they play down the number.
They play down the number so that we don't embarrass the government. Now it is clear that we have a problem with research. But then again, the agency of government that is responsible for ensuring that people go back, study, and come up with innovative ideas.
Right.
In 33 years, I mean, they said that the biggest accomplishment is the discovery of Kilishi. So what do we expect from such persons? So I think that as Nigerians, our mindset needs to change. As a people, we must demand more from our elected representatives.
Right.
We should not settle for less. There's no, it is well. God will do it for us. My mom, there was this popular prayer point going on. My mom would say, if it is happening in the front, let us be in the back. If it is happening in the back, let us be in the front. If it is happening in the front and back, let us be in the center. So we ask if it is happening everywhere. She will say, let us not be there.
So where would you be?
So long as you're not, so long as you're not a victim, it not concern you.
Yeah.
It can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So as a people, if we begin to look at our problems and say, it's happening to Ufoma today, or Wemimo, or Sheriff, or Neita, it could be me tomorrow. It's not the problem of the northwest, the northeast, the south, the southwest.
Sure.
If we begin to look at our problems,
Right.
or the issues that we are faced with as Nigerians, only then will our elected representatives take us serious. It's cruise to them. They look at it and say, next week they will forget. Let's give them something.
But that's what it is.
Let's
Every
give
week
them
we
what it is.
forget.
And we're quick to always forget and say, God will do it for us. God will not let it be our portion.
That's usually a problem in this part of the world. We have short memory span. Ada Blessing wants to jump in on the Lassa Viva conversation. Ada Blessing, please go on.
Okay, in all honesty, I think the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Environment, they really have a whole lot of work to do, because I've been in a rural environment before, and in all honesty, I fear for those people, because if you see the way Gary is being processed, I worry there might never be, this Lassa fever might never end, because some of them, they keep it outside for days, some people step on it, and those are the Gary that they will now gather, process, and now be distributing to people nationwide to eat.
Did you say step on it?
Yeah.
It's really,
It's
really
but they do
pathetic. Yeah.
Oh,
Some of them, they step on it, they wait for it to dry, and then they'll start putting it in bags and then start distributing. So I worry at night. You don't know what gets in there, how many rats walk past the Gary that is being sown. So I think we have great work to do, even as the media, a whole lot of sensitization to all these people, because most of them, they don't even believe. They'll be like, our forefathers have been eating it this way. How come it's now, this thing is just an Uyibo name to scare us? There's nothing like that. So we have a whole lot of work to do. The Ministry of Environment and also the Ministry of Health. Great sensitization needs to be done. If not, every year, we'll still be talking about the same case. My thoughts, though.
Fantastic. Ada Blessing, thank you.
Sheriff, if I may.
Yes, please.
So on this Lassa fever issue,
Can I share my thoughts?
Okay, go, hold on, Wemimo. Just hold on. Let's hear from Freeze.
Okay. One of the problems I have with us in Nigeria, which showcased itself very clearly during COVID, is the fact that we reject knowledge and hold on to superstition and myths. People will refuse to wear masks, to social distance, and they will believe that some divine, angelic, spiritual being will protect them from the virus. Same thing applies to the Gary that you're talking about and Lassa fever. In Europe or the US, a tiny little roach in a restaurant is going to get the restaurant to lose its license.
Wow.
In Nigeria, irony is just cockroach. Oh, yeah. They'll just use the spoon. If you've ever gone to eat in a what is that? Mama Put restaurant before the toy road. They'll just use that. Just carry it and just fling it out onto the road. So a lizard that is walking past will just eat peppered roach. That is where it ends. Now they'll say our ancestors didn't die. You know why? Because they died of what you attributed to spiritual things. People that were killed by Lassa fever, they'll say it's village enemies. Do you know how many people have died of COVID? that ran to churches to spread it, and then they'll pray for the person, and then they'll say it is one enemy in the village. So one thing we need to do, there's a solution to this.
Right.
We need to rework our strategy of doing things, especially when it comes to communicable diseases. Malaria has been eradicated in Europe totally. We can't eradicate it as long as we keep having open gutters. As long as we keep having the attitude we have, mosquito is just mosquito, it's just a rat. No, it's not just mosquito or rat or roach.
Right.
These are harmful pests.
So we need to have
carry diseases.
We need to have strong government policies to be able to eradicate this. We need to move very, very quickly right now.
Absolutely.
You have like 3 minutes before the next break. You were going to say something?
Yeah. So for Lassa fever, I think we need to step it a bit higher, or maybe I'll say bring it down a little lower to the grassroots. So it moves beyond the farms and spreading the cassava on the highway. It moves also to a place like Lagos where, like Freeze said, rodents have become citizens. On every street in Lagos, there are these humongous rats.
They can steal a human being.
Oh my goodness. I saw I just moved to... I was shocked. This rat was longer than my feet. I wear a size 42.
What?
I'm telling you, huge stuff. And we don't think it's a big deal. We have local governments that should be in charge of exterminating these rodents. They don't take it seriously. So how do you pass Lassa fever? Aside the gari that you spread on the road, when you also store the sacks of gari in the stores in Oyigbo, in Mushi, those shops are also rodent-filled. And rodents also crawl over these stores.
Right.
Your mama Chinedu that sells gari also put it in a bowl and just put it on the floor. So we need to, again here, I might just tag NOA. National Orientation Agency. I think they've not done enough this year at all for any of the things we want to talk about. People by now should understand how important it is to have covered bowls for their food stuff. We still don't have all of those. I don't know what work they've been doing this year, in all honesty.
Indeed. Lagos, what we're going to do right now, we'll go on a quick break. And when we return, we'll talk about the ban on Keke and Okada this year. That was a big deal.
Oh my God.
That was a big deal this year. You can watch live right now on Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's know what you think about Lassa fever, and then our oncoming conversation on Keke and Okada ban in Lagos here. We'd like to get your thoughts on that as well. And feel free to also be ready to call into the show and let's know what you think about our conversation this morning. The topics that we're bringing your way. The cast is here, fully loaded and ready to go. I'm Sheriff Quadri. The rest of the team will be back in a moment. Stay here.
Everybody talks.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Top up your electricity token, pay for new meter, renew your cable TV subscription, and pay other bills easily without stories to touch. Yes, you can do all these and more with Remita. You can make payments through any means you find convenient. ATM card, USSD, mobile money, phone number, internet banking, transfer, or even with cash at any bank branch or agent location near you. Indeed, Remita is all you need to make your next payment from the comfort of your home, office, shop, car, or anywhere. With Remita, easy is the new cool. Download the Remita app from Google Play Store or Apple Store, or visit www.remita.net to start making payments now. Remita, because payment should be easy.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. People of a common purpose.
So they're no longer fighting crime. They're fighting the people that they are supposed to be protecting.
Searching for answers. Anger and tensions rise. A nation on the verge.
Primary duty of the police and other law enforcement agencies remains the protection of lives.
People of frayed nerves.
What's going on here? Nigeria is very underdeveloped. How can we not have lights in the 21st century?
Events defining the course of humanity.
The coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has affected the way
All on the round table. Join Sheriff Quadri, Ahoho Obo, Sandra Ezekwesili, Ufoma Egbamuno, Wemimo Adewuni, and Joyce Onyemuwa on the round table. As we take a deeper retro look at major events that shaped the year 2020. The round table, 9 a.m. Friday, December 18, 2020. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
It's okay. That is okay. It's okay. No, it's okay. Let me explain. It's okay. She off your mic.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your mic is always on. Let's talk.
.3 Nigeria Info. Very lovely morning to you once again, Lagos, Nigeria, wherever you are. Welcome. It's a roundtable here, special broadcast on Nigeria Info. We've got the entire team here, at least 99.9% of the team will here with you this morning. You can join the conversation by dropping your thoughts on every issue that we discuss here on the roundtable. With us on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. That is the 0809 597 5805 on WhatsApp. You can also tweet us at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter, at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. We're also there on Instagram for you, Nigeria Info FM Lagos. We're streaming live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3. I'm Sheriff Quatri. I'm sorry I can't mention everybody's name. It would take time. When I know best. Joining us right now is Joyce Emwa. She is half asleep. She's half asleep.
Bless your heart.
Joyce, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody, and I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic. I mean, I would have loved to ask you the question that I asked everybody, but we're out of time. But let's start with the Keke ban in Lagos this year. I'm going to start with Nata on this one.
Right. Okay, so on the Sunday morning show, so I host the Sunday morning show if you don't know, and we're number 2. I would like to brag about that. Yes. So last week,
Jose Mourinho.
So last week we had this topic where we talked about federal government had commenced a 30,000 naira grant for Okada drivers, taxi drivers, and Keke Napep owners and all of that. And somebody called on the show because according to the statistic that federal government had put out there, about 59,000 artisans, because the scheme started with the artisans and now they want to extend it to Keke drivers and Okada drivers. And then I had a caller who was so emotional. When I saw this topic, that guy just popped on my mind and he was almost crying on the show. And he said, what am I going to do with 30,000 naira? Because you have taken my bike from me. You've taken my Okada from me. And he gave us an estimate of how much he used to make in a week, in a month rather. He said if he worked hard, he would make about 100 to 120,000 naira. So right now, what will 30,000 naira do for him? And that's the big question. Now we see in Lagos State, you have banned this Okada. and everything, and you didn't put anything in place to sort of like make up for this loss for these people. And that's the big question, because I know for every Okada driver out there now who was a victim of this ban, I don't know how it is they've been surviving. I think it still boils down to the fact that 2020 has been one hell of a roller coaster, and my heart goes out to everybody that was a victim of this one.
Sandra.
Man, this Okada ban story was the biggest for my callers, and I can definitely relate with Nature's everybody being upset by it. People were so upset. This week during our year in review, it came up again, and Sheriff, people were still upset. People were complaining about the inconvenience of having to walk long distances to catch a bus, or having to wait for buses, and it's just insane. And remember, the Lagos state government at the time said that, they were going to provide all these alternatives, and those alternatives never came to be. There's this concept in public policy called Chesterton's fence, and it says, don't knock down a fence until you know why it was built. And it applies to anything that you see in a society, to be honest with you. Because as a government, before you ban something, you have to ask, what problem is this thing currently solving for the people? Have I provided an alternative? And the big problem in our transport system is that our road network is too bottom heavy. You have lots of small minor roads connecting only to a few major roads and highways. Now, buses and danfos are solutions for bigger roads. They don't work very well for those minor roads. In other countries, the minor roads are short, so you can quickly trek down and go to the bus stop and enter a bus there. But in Lagos, those minor roads are long. So that's why these Kekes and these Okadas came up as a way to get people down the long minor roads. And now they've been banned in some areas. But you cannot expect danfos to replace them, because a danfo will not make enough money running down those streets. And so what ends up happening? People walk longer, pay higher fares, and until we completely alter our road networks by some miracle, there's always going to be a need for Okada and Keke. When people start to call us Sheriff, you're going to hear them still saying, it did not work, that policy failed. And that's a question I'm still asking, to be very honest with you. For people who supported it at the time, do they think that policy 11 months later was a good one?
Indeed. Wemimo.
Yeah, so one of the things that happened last year was I was in Accra for the Climate Change Summit.
Yes.
There was an interesting conference session on mobility in Africa. So Lagos has average 20 million people, and these people need to move from one place to another. And we want to be a grand, what's that thing we call it again? Mega city. We like calling ourselves a mega city. So we want everywhere looking clean and proper, like VI. We want Mushi, Oshodi, Agege to look like VI. But we have not created the road networks. So you wake up suddenly and say, I don't want to see Keke and I don't want to see bikes. And remember how suddenly this happened. I remember that morning, people trekked. I was driving to work at 4:30 a.m. and I saw people at bus stops already waiting to get their way down here. And of course, they all were stuck in traffic that day. Right now, many roads are being fixed. I left my house, Bagada to VI. I spent about 2.5 hours. Crazy stuff.
Lucky you.
While I was in the taxi, I saw guys whizzing through on bikes, and I wish that was me, because I didn't want to be in traffic. So you don't want to see traffic on the highway, you don't want to see bikes on the highway, but you refuse to fix the traffic, and you also refuse to fix the roads. Also, close to elections, you come out with bikes and Marwa, and you say you're doing empowerment, Abby. You're doing empowerment for youth. You give them bikes, you give them Marwa, and then years after, you tell them not to use them. I mean, does it make any sense to me?
It doesn't. Ufoma.
So I will take a slightly different approach, which is, the fact that the government actually had reasons. Now, whether or not the reasons are enough to cause the pain that people have had to, just a quick example, if you live in VI around this axis, the bus drops you at Eco Hotel roundabout, you have to trek from there. If you don't have a car, you have to trek from there all the way down to Etimiyango or wherever you are. Right. Because you either go get a cab or you walk. That's how inconveniencing it can be. But then again, let's not forget that just before the ban, we're talking about the Okada guys, more like the informal guys. There was the formal, if I can call them that, Okada guys.
The go-kadas,
there was the go-kadas and the Max engines.
Yeah.
And from the little research I did, they actually had raised, Max engine reportedly last year, raised about $7 million.
Foreign investment.
Foreign investment.
That's right.
Go-Kada raised about $5.3 million. All, at least part of the investment was to go into this transportation
and
business.
make it safe.
Right.
You know, and then in about 6 months after raising these foreign investments,
you ban it.
You bring this policy. And all of a sudden, Go-Kada had to lay off 50% of their staff.
Yeah.
800 of their drivers had to go without work. You know, yes, I understand some of the reasons, like, you know, the menace, some of these bike men, and truth be told, they're actually very annoying on the road. Accidents, people have lost their lives and all of that.
Robberies and all of this.
Exactly. But like Sandra said, you have to also look at the problems they're trying to solve. If you're saying you want investments into Lagos, you want Lagos to be the hotbed, you know, the place where everybody comes, I wouldn't raise $5.3 million, you know, for a business that you gave me all the things I need, and 6 months later, just one policy, and everything goes down the drain.
Joyce?
I'm persuaded to believe that there is no human face to the Nigerian policies. I feel like there's a huge disconnect between the government and the actual consequence of poverty in Nigeria. I feel like it would appear that they sit down somewhere, you know, have lunch in air-conditioned apartments, and then they just like, what can we do? Like, did you see that thing in London? Like, ban it. And then you really come down to the real McCoy, and people. Nigeria is a structure where if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't work today, you don't eat today.
For many people.
So both their fiscal policies, their economic policies further worsen the poverty situation. I'm sorry. Nigeria cannot be the illusion of an America, of a London. There is no structure.
Right.
You don't have there is nothing you can do without a structure. You stop praying about it. Stop clapping about it. Stop trying to make it look as if you can throw a policy out there and then a miracle happens. You don't have a structure. And the structure pretty much has to be people inclusive. If you want to build a society where you want it to look anything remotely like a modern, you know, metropolitan city, structure. From the way your streets are lined up, the strips, to the way your transportation works, to the way the transportation links. Because I've noticed something, for example, if you've been to Milan,
right?
They're not plenty, they're Vespas. They look like bikes, The rich guys in Milan drive a Vespa. You see a man who has a Ferrari in his garage, drive a Vespa to come take coffee. The society is built in a way that if you don't have a Vespa, you can trek. Canvas is cheap. But in Nigeria, your footwears are not cheap.
They're not.
And then you say walk. There are no trees to suck out the heat, and there's nothing. There's not a thing. Yeah. So again, what happens? You fuck
right.
Totally. Because the middle highly dependent chain. All those bikes.
Yeah.
Office is instead of 3 hours, still coming looking fresh.
Yeah.
I think it's pathetic that an average Nigerian will spend 3 hours in traffic going anywhere. That's a way of life. The way you can put it. And for a government to break down policies, it's critical. How their time benefits somebody. Well, have a job, just talk about straight. That's all
Great point.
Fantastic. A lot of people are showing you guys love online. We want to say thanks. Ching on ladies, we appreciate Nigeria Info 99.3. If you're asking, it's hashtag Nigeria Info Rabbit. RT. What now?
Public.
It just shows I'm good.
You taught, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
What did you teach?
Quite a lot, quite a bit.
Hustler.
Yeah.
Right.
Part of the hustle.
I journalism as well.
Okay.
Not that's the point. No giveaway. Twitter at Nigerian Nigerian on Twitter, and we'll take them. We're going to start with some messages here. From Ota says, I was one of the victims of Okada ban. I faced a lot. I got my sister. I got your bike. You got your bike on higher pace. 1.3 million power bike. You say you trek from Gat to Maryland almost. it's well with Niger government. Thank you for sharing your exchange. 993. That is 700-993. We'll take a few calls, please. If you like, call me Minister Seconds. I don't mind. I don't mind. Let's speak with Val. Val, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Morning,
we're good.
Before you say 60 seconds, let me just quickly say hello to everybody. I wanted to protest, but thank God I heard the name. It is me, Joyce Oyomowa. So thank God.
Your fans are here.
That the freeze President Sandra, Iron Lady, Ancestor, Natalie, 720 relationship.
Who's Ancestor?
Wait, who is Ancestor?
I think Sandra.
You know now, he just
Sandra.
Wow. So you guys are awesome, man. First of all, you guys are awesome, okay? For doing what you do, you gave us hope. Despite the pressure that every policy, everything, if we did wrong, maybe we committed a crime, knowingly or unknowingly, we are paying the price for it. So everything from the beginning, the lives that we are lost, policies that were put in place, Okada and woman boys, this and that, everything was just hitting. Bam, one after the other, hitting the common.
Right.
I knew something would happen, but I never knew the protest, the answers would bring everything.
We'll get to that, Val. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Nigeria, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Sharon. Everybody in the house. Let's talk about
right.
I don't know what I'm going to see, what they are speaking. See, do you know that from Okoko to my we do use by. Then from my two coming to our power, if you want but how to train. The only is without this man. See our papa to Barak.
Right.
And it just talking out on because
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you, Friday. People, then we go to our next conversation.
Everybody in the studio and those online. Online. Say about the security issues. It's not safe. The way the traffic is in Lagos today.
Right.
I think as soon rise so banning Okada don't work because the roads are already blocked. So they are not doing anything about it.
Right.
God will help us. Thank you and God bless you.
Stop saying that God will help us.
That's the problem. That is the problem. Because I saw a post somewhere. I think one of these blogs where they said, why are Nigerians less religious when they go to foreign countries? And somebody replied that because 70% of what you're praying for has already been answered. And that's why you see Nigerians always praying, God will help us. God has already helped us.
And I think that our conditions in this country have further paralyzed our psychology.
At this point.
I feel like things get done and we're grateful that they get done. So you realize that as a people, we hardly even know what our rights are to demand for them and not necessarily be grateful when we get them. So I think we are creating a greater problem than just financial poverty. We're creating mental poverty.
Mental poverty. Let's we have loads of callers online, so it'll be fair to just take a few more calls. Let's squeeze in like 2 or 3. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Sheriff, this is Mufe.
60 seconds.
Wow, I great audio house. Just is a privilege to call. Most of the OAPs are willing to call.
60 seconds. Don't worry. Just go ahead.
Well, the Okada ban, it was a big hit. I checked from Agbaya, close to Janiki that day because there was no bus. And I was regretting that what type of government do we have? They have been back to policy in the night. In the morning, we are facing it. I don't understand how they work.
Right.
But thank God we survived that one. With many other ones we faced. Thank God 2020 has been a great year for many of us, even despite the fact that the year has been so tremendous. But thank God we survived it.
Thank you, Mofe, for calling. Appreciate it. Nigeria, good morning to you.
Good morning. My name is Aluko Luarutimi.
Your name is?
Aluko Luarutimi.
Aluko. Welcome.
I'm calling from Obuchi.
Go ahead. You don't have time.
Hello.
Yeah.
We can hear you. Go on. Okay. Well, let's Aluko's call. Joe Baba is here, though. After Joe Baba, we'll move on. Good morning to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sheriff, and everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, Sheriff, it's nice to hear Onyechi Ekumankama voice. I mean, you introduced her for the first time, and I want to hear more from her.
Okay.
Sheriff, the Lassa fever, honestly speaking, is one issue that I concur with everybody that it will continue to happen.
Unfortunately.
I mean, you see the processing in villages, and then you begin to wonder
what are the governments doing?
For real.
And if care is not taken, it will continue. I mean, look at those big rodents that some of the, your guys said. It's so alarming that they can get access to every of the shops when people closes and go home.
Right.
And for the Okada riders, the government should just do one way or the other to bring them back. Give them conditions, give them guidelines, because it will not really help people, especially when the rules are bad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jebaba, for calling. Guys, let's quickly move on to our next conversation this morning, and that is definitely COVID-19.
The biggest. 2020's biggest
If
story.
you hear their papa,
you know.
The elder.
It was confirmed on the 28th that we now have COVID in Nigeria. The gentleman came in through the Lagos airports, then went to Abeokuta to go consult for a company there, a cement company, I think. And then that was where the entire drama started. That was what started the journey that we've embarked on since from the beginning. I'm going to start with Ufoma on this one. There's a lot to unpack in this COVID because we're still in it. So we're going to make this conversation very short and straight to the point. Ufoma, COVID from the beginning. Did we handle it well?
You know why I'm pausing?
Yeah.
I'm pausing because, first of all, we're still in it. So the jury is still out.
Yeah.
My biggest question from 2020 and the COVID-19 pandemic is, did we actually need a lockdown?
You mean in Nigeria or
Yes.
across the world?
Yes, in Nigeria. I don't know about the UK, and I'm talking about Nigeria specifically. Did we actually need a lockdown?
Before we get to the lockdown,
That's a heavy question.
before we
because
get
I'm
before we get to
actually-
the lockdown part, you know the reason why I asked whether we handled it well was because we knew that COVID was around since 2019. We knew all the things that they were now rushing to put in place at the airport. Nothing was done at the airport. So it was almost like we were like, they come, they're ready, when we are not ready.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually going to wait to, get a few thoughts before I asked that question. But since you pointed at me,
Yeah.
I had to I know it was going to be a bombshell,
Yeah.
but I had to throw it out there because for me, the jury is still out. Did we handle it well? First of all, we didn't close our borders on time when we were supposed to. Even if we did, our borders are so porous that,
very, very.
people can always
Very,
find
very.
their way in. And like you mentioned, our health system is horrible. Do we even have a health system?
We do.
Well,
A working health
Kinda.
system.
okay. Thank you for bailing me out. We don't actually have a working health system, and so we've been faced with we've gone to even countries that have better health systems
Right.
have been overwhelmed. It's that bad.
Yeah.
Talk less of a Nigeria that still facing third world problems. But I'll let the guys give their thoughts,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back to my initial question. If we indeed
We'll get to lockdown. The lockdown part is a whole vibe entirely. But we need to go on a quick break right now. You guys should not complain. No, you are the same people that will tell people that you need to go on break.
Yeah. Now we know how it feels. Yeah.
So don't complain. We'll be back, Lagos. Stay with us.
Back to of the biggest talk.
It's just a general attitude to environmental laws. Mechanics, food sellers. One of the reasons why I believe you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. we take a deeper retro look at major events that shaped the year 2020. The Roundtable, 9 a.m. More Friday, news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Gone are the days when a man demands allegiance from his wife. The world is a completely different place from the one I came up in. In this day, you have to win her over by sharing a vision with her.
Today's woman comes armed with her own vision.
So you give her a better one. You have your work cut out for you. These women are fierce, intelligent, and the toast of the new world. A successful husband is one who's able to harness all these qualities and inspire harmony in the home.
And I thought I had left all the politicking behind as mayor.
Ah, my boy. Politics of family never ends.
Catch back-to-back episodes from Season 3 of Lagosa every Wednesday and Thursday, 6:15 p.m., Friday, 6:45 p.m. on Nigeria Info 99.3. Starring Femi Jacobs and Olu Jacobs as Olorogun. Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. Are you ready?
Hey, Doredo, better than safe. Now 10 gigabyte data just land my Airtel so. Guess how much? 3,000 naira. 3K for 10 gigabyte data. You shock, Abi? Make I add extra shock. 5,000 naira go give you 20 gigabyte data. Now so be for shock.
That's right. With Airtel data, just a little more gets you so much more. Introducing Airtel More for More data plans, like 10 gigabytes for just 3,000 naira and 20 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Dial star 141 hash today to experience the power of advanced 4G LTE connection from Nigeria's widest 4G network.
Airtel, the smartphone network. What will you do if you win $1 million naira this month? This Christmas, one lucky player will close the year with 1 million naira cash in the ZBet end of year promo. To stand a chance, all you have to do is sign up and place a minimum total bet of 5,000 naira on zbet.ng between the 7th and the 23rd of December and automatically qualify. That's not all. 2 other friends will also win 250,000 naira each. Visit www.zbet.ng for more details. ZBet, we speak your game.
Breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk, and cocoa, and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Virtual meetings, online shopping, mobile payments, and even online weddings. Alert, your pocket-friendly digital bank, is your plug to own your world as you can transfer funds, pay bills, buy airtime and data, and perform all bank transactions from your comfort zone with zero stress and zero hassle. Download the Alert app today on Google Play Store and on the iOS App Store.
Alert, powered by Wema Bank.
Hey, Doredo, better than safe. Now 10 gigabyte data just land my Airtel so. Guess how much? 3,000 naira. 3K for 10 gigabyte data. You shock, Abi? Make I add extra shock. 5,000 naira go give you 20 gigabyte data. Now so be for shock.
That's right. With Airtel data, just a little more gets you so much more. Introducing Airtel More for More data plans, like 10 gigabytes for just 3,000 naira and 20 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Dial star 141 hash today to experience the power of advanced 4G LTE connection from Nigeria's widest 4G network.
Airtel, the smartphone network. You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Welcome back to Table Talk. We started this conversation at 9. Oh, hey. Round table. It's the love I have for him, it's too much. Round table. All right. It's 10:31 from our studios here, and we have comments coming in on Twitter and on Facebook. It's just massive.
Thank you guys for the love. It's
it's just massive. It's overwhelming.
Thank
It's really, really overwhelming. We'll get to all of those later on. So let's continue our conversation with COVID. I'm going to jump straight now to go speak to Freeze about COVID. Freeze is one person that, why are you guys laughing? That will probably tell us even more about how COVID has affected him, but we'll get to that part much later on. About Freeze, I remember in your opening speech, particularly when we spoke about Keke ban and all, Lassa fever rather, you mentioned you dropped in a few words on COVID-19. From the beginning and how we have handled COVID-19 in Nigeria and how the people responded to it from the start. It's not that we're doing any better now, but let's talk about the start. How would you? What's your position on that?
First of all, I don't want to talk about the lockdown because we're not talking about the lockdown yet. But let me say this. If we had handled COVID well, we wouldn't have needed a lockdown. Looking around Nigeria today, I realize in hindsight that lockdown or no lockdown, COVID was going to be upon us simply because of how we react as a people to issues regarding infectious diseases.
Okay.
You drive around Lagos, where we live, you see 1 in 100 people wearing a mask. People don't care about these things. Then we're very spiritual and religious. Our religious leaders, I believe, that's my opinion. I may be wrong. I believe they put their selfish interests first.
Okay.
Because abroad, even the Pope, Mecca, Israel, we're all locked.
Very true.
But our preachers were saying COVID is a lie from the pit of hell simply because they wanted to, in my opinion, not Nigeria Info's opinion, because they wanted to make money like they do every week.
It was such a big controversy that time. Yeah, it was such a big one.
And we had pastors who were preaching all sorts of stuff like 5G was the cause of COVID-19. All sorts of stuff just to make the people feel like COVID-19 is another government lie upon us. So how would we not be where we are today? We have a government that doesn't care, a people whose ignorance and poverty has been weaponized. And we are where we are. Sheriff, you know me.
Yeah.
I wear double mask sometimes. I wear face double mask.
Yes.
They know me. I don't go out, not because I don't want to, because I don't trust the other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to breathe under 2 masks and a shield. Sometimes I run to my car, but I know that the next person is going to say, oh, COVID is a lie, the government are liars, they just want to steal our money. So it's pretty sad, if you ask me.
Sandra, quickly, let's jump on this quickly.
Back in February, the biggest question was, how will government delay the entry of COVID? But from the beginning, there were big question marks about how we were handling people at the airports. Remember, for instance, Beverly Naya, I think it was, tweeted a questionnaire that government was handing out to people at the airport, giving them these contact tracing forms as they landed. But we were getting reports that people were giving false information. So a lot of people kept asking, are we sure they'll be able to trace these new arrivals? I spoke with Aki Abayomi, the Commissioner for Health at the time, about it. And he said, well, governments can't do everything. Nigerians themselves also have to take some form of responsibility. But we also need to remember that government was trying to strike the balance between preventing the pandemic, and keeping the economy going. Now, that problem at the airport really highlighted our systemic flaws when it comes to identity management and address management, because it's very difficult to trace somebody in Nigeria who doesn't want to be traced. I feel like Nigeria is the best place to be a criminal. You get away with it. Now, Ofoma asked a question, but before I even answer that question that Ofoma asked about whether we needed a lockdown, let me ask my own. Did we have a lockdown? Were the systems tight enough to ensure that people were obeying a lockdown? Let's start there. And then a lot of people have questions about, the mortality rate in Africa, it was lower than in other places. But there was honestly no way, like if we're being honest with ourselves, there's no way to predict this ahead of time. If the hospitalization rates in Nigeria had been as high as in Europe, going without a lockdown would have been a catastrophe. And up till now, the science is still trying to figure out why our cases were not as severe. People died here, let's not forget. It's just that death, no, they do us anything. 1,000 plus people died. People are being hospitalized, but the percentages are far lower. But then you look at countries that are similar to each other and you compare the ones that locked down and the ones that did not lock down, and the trend is very clear. Those that locked down had far better health outcomes. Norway is doing better than Sweden, for instance. Ireland is doing better than the UK. And another reason that we cannot clearly answer Opoma's question is data. Like Chukwudi said, people will be dying in villages, and our people will announce it as mysterious illness. Remember those deaths that happened in Kano?
In Kano, yeah.
So without really knowing how many people COVID has killed here, we can't even really say that COVID has not been killing people. Shebi, every day you go to hospital, they'll give you malaria test and say, you have malaria. Now, so malaria they do. And again, it exposes our systemic problems, like Freeze was talking about earlier on. People are so used to believing the sexy stories about myths and conspiracy theories than they are about believing that 1 + 1 really equals to 2.
Indeed. We'll take a few calls, then when more will jump on this. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
You told me I don't have time, so not have to get anyone. Straight to the point. I want to comment on every issue.
Okay. Go on quickly. 60 seconds. Go on.
Apart from COVID.
Yeah.
See, the solution to all Nigeria problems, apart from COVID, is through federalism. We need to let those governors handle their
local issues.
Yes, by so doing, they will so busy. There will be no time to rely on federal government.
Yeah.
That's the solution to Nigeria problem, apart from COVID.
All right. Thank you so much for calling me. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Sheriff.
Morning to you.
It's so good to call on the show this morning.
Yeah, we know.
I'm Sheriff Dean calling from Sulere.
Good to have your name safe.
Yeah, what about the big fish? Where is Jimmy Disu?
Jimmy Disu is on leave now. He's on leave.
It will be good to have great Jesus on the
You don't want Baba to rest. Baba is on leave.
I greet everyone in the studio.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you too for calling. You just called to greet. One more. Okay. Let's leave one more then. Let's quickly go to Wemimo.
COVID-19. So COVID-19 started with us having predictions that in Africa we'll be picking bodies on the roads. And I remember the fear in the hearts of everyone, including myself, about how driving home, I would just see dead bodies on 3rd Milan Bridge. Remember, that was when we were also looking for a plane full of people who refused to give their addresses at the airport.
Right.
And it was all over the papers declaring we're looking for 150-something people. We can't trace them. We need them to come for testing. Again, we've talked about data. And data is a big problem for us in Nigeria. I mean, we don't know how many children we've given birth to today. We don't know where they are. I always say this at home. I could be Wemimo here, and the next street, my name can be Ruka. And you can't
and
argue
nobody
with
will even know.
I can have certificates backing up my Ruka name. I can have birth certificate backing up my new identity. And, it's easy to get identity, to buy identity in Nigeria. So you can be anything at any time. Right. And that was a big problem for us in managing COVID. But to the question of Ufoma as to, did we need a lockdown? The Christian side of me would say possibly God was good to us in Nigeria, because going by our own efforts, we don't deserve the few deaths that we have. That's not being insensitive.
Yeah.
But that's saying that we did, for the countries that even prepared more than we did, 1,000 more than we did. The US, a good example. Hundreds of thousands of deaths. that they've recorded. So now we're talking about a second wave, and nobody believes it because, again, the distrust in government. We think Adina Malaya just made a video telling you why you should not take COVID vaccine. I'm like, guy, but is this distrust where people would even listen to someone have that kind of conversation? They'll tell you, don't take a vaccine. So we've got this sentiment woven together, and it's played out also in our COVID fight.
Indeed. Nita?
Oh, right. I mean, Wemimo has almost said everything. The question I want to ask is in respect of post-lockdown. So if any other person wants to talk about anything regarding pre-lockdown, I would wait. Does anybody want to chip in something?
Onyechi is here, though. Onyechi?
Okay. Actually, I mean, it seems like everyone is asking a question, but I don't have a question. To answer your question, Sheriff, no, we did not handle COVID-19 well, because I remember before we had that index case, I personally, and I'm sure a lot of people had conversations and asked questions about what is happening at our airport first and foremost.
Right.
Do we have to wait till it enters before we take action? But that's not even the main point of what I want to speak on as regards COVID. If you don't mind, I want to change perspective a little bit and look at COVID from the perspective of someone in the education sector, a student. I did mention at the beginning of the show that I thank God for the privilege to have been in an institution that was able to go online. But I have colleagues who didn't have that privilege. Until today, they have still not gone back to school. ASU strike is another conversation. Hey. Even if there was no ASU strike, they wouldn't have had school. Even those of us who were able to go online, the situations and the structure in Nigeria, like Sandra and Daddy Freeze has said, does not permit for a seamless online education.
Right.
For crying out loud. Network is terrible for common browsing, and you want to have full-blown classes on the internet. It was a struggle for me, personally, having to migrate. For the first time ever, I wrote exams online at home via Zoom. It was a struggle having to just even keep up with timetables, coming online and seeing WhatsApp messages waiting from one course, and then having to write exams. Electricity is a problem. Do we have constant supply? How many people can afford generators and, the necessary resources to fuel it? How many people have access to laptops and computers to aid these studies? Right. When you're in school, the school provides that. You have labs that have these things. So there are so many loopholes and so many challenges for even the students. And then in secondary school, not every year could go to school, only those in exam classes. So what's going to happen to the rest of us? We're now left behind. It's not like the situation of the Civil War where some of our parents couldn't go to school for years or months, rather, because there was a civil war. And I'm just thinking, how are we going to compete with our counterparts across the world? So, there's a lot of things in that area that was really affected. And I personally can speak to that because I experienced it as well.
Let's talk about the lockdown. Guys, lockdown. Joyce, what was it like?
Everything in my head is all the conspiracy theory right now. Did we need a lockdown? There was nothing we could do about nothing. The way COVID-19 is structured is that every country will feel. In fact, there are only 2 countries right now on the face of the earth that has not reported COVID-19 cases. And these are countries that pretty much take little to no amount of tourists. North Korea and Turkmenistan. Only these 2 countries. Every other country has felt the punch of COVID-19. Now, that's one. Here is something else I think you should understand. There is no scientific proof that suggests that a lockdown prevents the spread of COVID-19. If you would remember, we were told that it could be transmitted from one person to the other. And while that was still on their tongue, they told us it was airborne.
Yeah.
America reported a case where a woman had coronavirus and she had been in her house. She hadn't been anywhere.
Yeah.
So there was nothing you could have done. Unfortunately for the Nigerian government, damn they do, damn they don't. They already have a bad record. But there was nothing that they could have done for Nigeria to have been exempt. Fortunately, what Nigerians think is the case with coronavirus is what even other people in other countries are saying, that, okay, it appears that the survival rate for COVID-19 is really kind of high compared to the deaths that have been recorded. So did we need a lockdown? It depends on who you're asking. If you ask me, honestly, I would say no. We didn't need a lockdown.
Who want to jump in on this? Did we need one?
I want to...
no, we didn't need a lockdown.
Sheriff,
I disagree. I disagree completely.
Sheriff, can I say something?
Yes, go on, Freeze. Go
on. First things first, there's one elephant in the room that we're all ignoring. Numbers.
Yeah.
Statistics. statistics. My father studied in Romania. He went to Romania in 1970 and he finished his university in 1977. The national population figures were used by a census that was done 150 years prior to that. They have accurate numbers. The US can tell you to a very good degree how many citizens they have. We don't have a fleeting clue. Now, I personally know 3 people who died of COVID but were reported as brief illness. One was a politician.
Okay.
And the third person was an entrepreneur.
We missed the second person.
They all
we missed the second
person. The first person was a pastor. The second person, Sheriff, I can send it to you on WhatsApp. Their families came out and said it's brief illness. Meanwhile, I'm close to families and friends of these people. So how do we know who survived, who really didn't die of COVID? Do you know how many people are dying every day and they say, oh, it's heart attack, oh, it's this. We, abroad, yes, even abroad they have issues with regards to statistics. But here, it's a statistical calamity, in my opinion. So we don't know that people didn't die. That's one thing. Oh, we did better than other countries. We didn't do better.
Did we need a lockdown, though? Do you think we needed that
lockdown? Now, like Joyce said, there are 2 factors. If Nigerians were ready to be disciplined, obey social distancing, wear masks, stop gathering in crowds, then we wouldn't have needed a lockdown.
Ufoma,
the borders on time.
Do you think we needed that lockdown?
So that's he is just answering part of the question. For me, in theory, we said we had a lockdown, but in practice, was there really a lockdown? That's the thing for me, because at the end of the day, remember, it was Lagos, Ogun, and the Federal Capital Territory, right?
Yeah.
That's what we had before other states started.
Yeah, true.
But guess what? Maybe the first week, the second week, maybe a lot of persons adhered to it.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I'm on everywhere belle face. A lot of persons were secretly going out. A lot of persons were secretly going out to do things. And at the end of the day, the plan for the lockdown, the aim for it was more or less defeated. It got to the point where government just felt, you know what, people are still traveling.
Yeah.
People are still going in the cover of the dark from Lagos to Imo State.
Yeah.
So
as far as Port Harcourt,
exactly,
from Port Harcourt to Lagos, from Lagos
you
to
know,
Port Harcourt.
even outside the country. And like Free said, we don't have the numbers. So the NCDC every day tells you 544, 238. Trust me, if indeed we had the real statistics, there were possibly, I'm probably guessing now, I don't have the facts to back it up, but there are possibly 5-10 times those numbers.
Please let me break this table, can I?
No, wait, hold on first before you break. If you're tweeting us, the hashtag is Nigeria Info RT on Twitter. That's Nigeria Info RT. That's the hashtag that we're using to track all the comments that you're dropping on Twitter for us. What more?
So, did we need a lockdown?
Yeah.
No. Did we have a lockdown? No. So my question is, so why didn't we have so many people die? Compared, even if the actual numbers were 5 times what we recorded. So here's my question.
Said that perhaps it's because we don't have the figure. We don't have the data.
So you know, wait. Even let's multiply the figures we have by 10.
Yeah.
Compared with other countries, it's still very low. So why didn't people?
It's still
very low.
Still quite low.
Here's what I think.
Multiply by 100, more like.
No. I think 100 is that's exaggeration. But I think that why we did not die in Nigeria and why we might be able to overcome coronavirus and why I think our legislators or our government did not even try to get the vaccine. We're not even on the queue for the vaccine. Is because we have Agbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people have dissected the symptoms of COVID.
Yeah, don't go yarrow.
Yeah. And they say, oh, it's headache, oh, it's fever, oh, it's chills, oh, it's this. It's just something you can mix up. And if you ask me in truth, remember the Oni of Ife said, I believe very strongly that here in Nigeria, we can have homegrown solutions to COVID.
Indeed.
Yes, I think that here in Nigeria, if we're serious enough with the kind of herbs and stuff that we have, what are vaccines? What are drugs? They're made from herbs. I think that we have the stuff that we need here to counter COVID if we were serious. Are we serious? I can't answer that question.
Ada, hold on, hold on.
Okay.
Ada.
All right. Was the lockdown needed? Sorry, I'm sounding this way. I'm maxed up. There is still COVID. Yeah. So was the lockdown needed? Yes. Was it observed? No. And I think at this point we all have to be blamed. First, our government didn't handle this well. Nigeria is a country where you need to go out to eat, and then you're not asking people to stay indoors, and you weren't even providing for them.
Yeah.
So the state of the economy actually pushed people out to go look for what to eat, and then containing the virus was a problem.
It made a mess of the lockdown.
Exactly. So, and Nigeria is also a very messy country where instead of managing the little resources we have or we had at that time, instead the greed in us came out. People started inflating everything.
Yeah.
So the country, I think the lockdown just messed up everything. So, in all honesty, the lockdown was needed, but it wasn't achieved.
Sandra,
and
you have 2
it's
minutes
scary.
to jump on this.
Did we have as many deaths as the West? No, but we had deaths. The science is still out. We cannot explain why. It wasn't the environment that defended us against COVID. Scientists think that there are multiple factors, vitamin D levels, the existence of immunity to other strains of coronavirus. It's not just Nigeria, it's Africa in general. But with this second wave, we're seeing that countries like Kenya are very terribly hit. Nigeria's numbers are going back up again. A lockdown doesn't prevent the virus, but it delays the spread of the virus. If people are not interacting, people are not infecting other people. If you're locked in your house, chances are you're not getting infected, you're not infecting others. If people are just going around doing anyhow they like, the infection rates are high. I'll give you a solid example. Sweden right now, all their health professionals at the moment are admitting that they made an error by refusing to lock down. Compare Sweden to Norway, where they did a lockdown almost immediately, the numbers are very, very different. Because this is a virus that we know nothing about. Let's not forget that. It's a virus that is new. It's a virus that we're still trying to figure out. Right. And so if we had not locked down when we did, and people are saying dying on the streets, people would have said, government failed. There's a saying in public health, it's better to overreact than to underreact. So we locked down. We've seen that we not die as people expect, say we go die.
What's
now
continue?
we can
Sandra,
reformulate policy as we go along.
Sandra, let's go on a break.
Yeah?
We are back with you in a moment here. Lagos, stay with us.
Bye.
She said bye.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
and free trading education that you can rely on every time. And this is not just a mission, it's a promise. Visit the Hot Forex Educational Centers at 3rd floor, Warala House, 90 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, or call 0908-517-6394 or visit www.hotforex.com. Hot Forex, for traders that want more.
today on www.flyairpeas.com.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities? And how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
Would you like to easily buy airtime, data, top up your electricity token, pay for new meter, renew your cable TV subscription, and pay other bills easily without storage to touch? Yes, you can do all these and more with Remita. You can make payments through any means you find convenient. ATM card, USSD, mobile money, phone number, internet banking, transfer, or even with cash at any bank branch or agent location near you. Indeed, Remita is all you need to make your next payment from the comfort of your home, office, shop, car, or anywhere. With Remita, easy is the new cool. Download the Remita app from Google Play Store or Apple Store, or visit www.remita.net to start making payments now. Remita, because payment should be easy.
Airpeace now flies direct from Lagos to Johannesburg, South Africa every Thursday and Sunday. Airpeace offers you the most affordable fare option with so much comfort. Also, your only option for a direct flight from Lagos to Johannesburg, South Africa. Now you can say Idego in Nigeria and Sawubona in South Africa 6 hours later. For more information, visit www.flyairpeace.com or download our mobile app. Airpeace, your peace, our peace.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. The roundtable is back on your radio. We are live on Twitter. If you want to join the conversation on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, the hashtag is Nigeria Info RT. Don't use any. I'm seeing a lot of people using different kinds of hashtags on Twitter.
The way they can create hashtags.
As in, they're just popping up with so many hashtags. The hashtag that we're using to search for all your tweets is Nigeria Info RT. R for round, then T for table.
No rabbit this time. But that means the switch, yeah.
I never chopped one before. I never chopped one before, so I
knew that was what
y'all are missing.
Really? Let's get on with the lockdown conversation, shall we? Because of time, I'm afraid. I just hope that we'll be able to wrap up on everything that we've outlined. Freeze is indicating the one to start this round. Freeze, go on, please.
Yes, very quickly. There was one point that we all missed out with regards to the reduced number of deaths in Nigeria. Remember, the life expectancy rate in Nigeria is 53.9 years. While in Italy, Canada, Germany, France, and Ireland, it's above 80 years. So we seem to have a younger population because many different things don't kill us down already before COVID come. So a younger population will always do better in facing a pandemic that targets the elderly and the vulnerable.
Right.
So that is a factor we're all missing out.
Right.
The fact that Nigeria's life expectancy rate is less than 54 years compared to Europe, where it's more than 80 years, and Japan, for instance, where it's 85 years.
Indeed. I'm going to go to Twitter to take a tweet before I come to Joyce. Ifeanyiwa Abanigbo on Twitter says, I stand with Joyce. We don't need another lockdown. We're just typing this... we're just hyping this COVID-19 in Nigeria as it's more deadly than malaria. Do you know how many people die of malaria and Lassa on a daily basis in this country? Ifeanyiwa Abanigbo sent that in on Twitter. Ifeanyiwa, thank you. Joyce.
China has refused to be, investigated for coronavirus. It was something similar. I mean, we were told one time that Ebola came from bats. I mean, if we follow the trend of the story, the question is, if coronavirus came from Where did it come from? Wuhan, from animals. Those animals, have they been what? Are they still there? Do they still have the virus? I mean, we tend to have this story where every time that there is a major, a pandemic, it usually will come from an animal. At least we're told it comes from an animal. But we don't necessarily hear any other further story about those animals. Do they get cured? Do they get killed? I mean, what happens? Because if those animals still have that virus, chances are humans will still come in contact with the virus again. So now that's one. The other thing is, some countries did not observe a lockdown. And again, what has been proven, even through observation and scientific research, is that the coronavirus has a higher survival rate. Switzerland, for example, has never shut down. And now the news is reporting us at December 2nd that they have halved their numbers of coronavirus, given the fact that they didn't shut down. In fact, what the Swiss government wanted to do was herd immunity. Okay, there's a virus out there, go out there. You catch it, you build an immunity. Now, you see that? What about the conversation about building immunity? Because the truth is, if you get a virus, you survive it, you build immunity. That conversation practically has died.
Well,
the biggest conversation right now is a vaccine. If you have immunity, you don't need vaccination.
You see, I get the point you're trying to make, and to a large extent, it's probably a conversation that maybe we should have. But at the end of the day, I think there's still been some questions about whether or not you actually had herd immunity in the first place.
Well, Switzerland is saying that they have it because they've halved it and they've never had a lockdown.
America is working towards having their own herd immunity.
The jury is still out.
No herd
Exactly.
immunity
There are people who have had it twice. The jury is still out. For me, when I asked the question about whether we needed a lockdown, somebody, I think it was a tweet you just read, somebody talked about a lot of persons that we have more deaths from malaria than COVID-19.
We have more deaths from hunger.
Do you understand? The major issue for me, the biggest impact of COVID is not, I'm not trying to belittle the health challenge, especially when you look at America. The biggest challenge of COVID-19 is the economic impact. The lockdowns, it's affected businesses, it's affected countries. You know, we're in a recession now, part of the reason is because of the lockdown.
So it would appear that the impact is greater on the economic flow of systems than it is on humans.
Exactly.
So
and that's
what are we really dealing with?
And that's my worry. People have lost their jobs. People can't make ends meet anymore. You know, people have had salaries reduced. You know, and for me, that's the major impact for me. So if you're putting up a lockdown where, quote unquote, it was only observed first 2 weeks, why did we need to stay 2 months and then 6 weeks where, okay, they say it was reduced and everybody was just going on with business as usual? Concerts already being advertised. They were going to have concerts this December.
Just wear your mask.
You know? People don't wear masks anymore.
I need to tell you.
Sometimes
this.
I go out and people are staring at me like, why is he still wearing a mask?
All right. Okay, Joyce.
Look, 2020, the World Economic Forum had held. Normally, you would think since there's a pandemic, they wouldn't hold. So you know what the World Economic Forum is? It's where pretty much all the global powers come together.
Before, was it not before?
During. Now, guess what the theme for this year, 2020, is? The Great Reset. I discussed it on the sunny side, that the World Economic Forum are sitting and their agenda is the Great Reset. Apparently, they're saying that coronavirus is going to usher in a Great Reset. And the entirety of what the Great Reset is to bring in a new world.
Please.
Okay.
Before we go on,
it's not conspiracy theory. It's not conspiracy theory.
One line.
You can check it.
One line on this. I hope you're the whole thinking about our lack of vaccine would affect us. So many countries would have to put a protocol in place for you to have been vaccinated before you can come into their country.
Because you actually even need data to start with.
And the current vaccines available are already bought up. Nigeria is not on the queue. So get ready. You might not be able to travel.
I think the health minister said something about the vaccines
in
about
January.
In January.
You guys will have it
How?
like
first quarter of next
Dream.
year.
If I hear
That's a dream.
No,
Security
I'm just
number
I'm
is
just
the
putting it
How?
out there so that people at least know that
he said so,
They said so.
Here's the thing about the vaccine thing. Number one, people all over the world that are using the vaccine right now, they have data to administer the vaccine. We don't have anything. Who are the most vulnerable that we want to administer the vaccine to? What is the data on the health service care providers themselves that are supposed to be the first set of people that will be vaccinated? We don't know.
Let me be sarcastic.
I mean, it's
Would the
just
vaccines be
insane.
hard?
Let me be sarcastic.
Yes,
Do
sure.
your NIN, we'll get your data.
Oh, absolutely. That's really what it is. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Next time you're gonna say.
Right, yes. So before we move on to the next discourse, I just have a question to ask everybody listening to us right now. What is our problem? Now, I'm talking in respect of post-lockdown.
Yeah.
Right? Joyce said something whilst we're on break that the average Nigerian needs a psychological evaluation. And I want to stand on that side of the divide. But because before the lockdown or during the lockdown, we saw how cautious everybody was. Everybody was very, very... I mean, they were keen on maintaining social distance, wearing their face mask and all of that. But now we see what this virus can do. We see how it can kill. We've seen even the top countries of the world struggle with this. And you hear the average Nigerian say COVID does not exist.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Like, why are we doing this
Let me
right
answer your
now?
question.
Why?
Someone gave me an answer on Table Talk. So
Please.
remember there were campaigns during the lockdown.
Right.
My listeners gave me a timeline. When we more come, Edo rally just happened. Let's give it 2 weeks. If we have a lot of numbers from Edo, then I will believe you that there's COVID. My hand fall now.
Yeah,
We
even
have
during
numbers.
even the protest, even after the protest, they were like, nothing happened.
So let's take Edo as a case study. So they had rallies. Let's give them 2 weeks, 1 month. If you can tell me that we had higher cases of COVID-19 from Edo, we'll believe you. Where are the numbers?
But we don't have the numbers.
We
That's the
don't have
thing.
the numbers.
We don't know that they even had higher cases.
There you go.
And we don't have dead bodies on the street.
No, we don't.
So are we going to continue this way?
So
are we going to continue saying it does not exist? Is that what we're going to do?
I'm going to ask everybody this same question, and I want us to be very brief in answering it.
Right. Okay.
As on-air personalities, that the core part of our job is to educate and make sure that we correct any ills via the power, the tool that we have. Has it been easy convincing people that there is COVID?
No. As a matter of fact, it takes somebody to have gotten the virus.
I'm not even sure all of us in the room
Not
believe.
even that.
Off your mic,
No.
off your mind.
It has not been easy at all.
If you even tell them that you know someone who has had the virus, they'll tell
They tell you, how do you
it's
know it?
malaria, it's malaria, it's our symptoms. We are used to flu, we are used to cold, we are used
I'm
to cough
pretty
and
sure
all that.
every one of us fought the battle with a collar or two during that period.
Yeah.
trying to
Sure.
convince that
I
there
did.
was actually COVID outside. And I mean, come on, guys.
We're going to squeeze in a few calls right now. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Good morning.
afternoon.
Good morning to you.
Yes, Comrade Keke from Water Farm.
Welcome.
Koboko man.
I greet everybody that the freezer and the Wememo and the Neta. Everybody.
Hi.
So, if we didn't have lockdown, how now did I share 10 bottles of plantain, 50 coconut, and a bag of rice?
Not here, please, not here.
Wait, yes.
Hello?
Yes.
They lock me against 1 million boys, 2 million boys.
Uh-huh.
Did the government give us any palliative except agege bread?
Hey.
Oh, yes, I saw that word.
If you say that kind of lockdown you people are talking about, that is total.
Right.
That means I for die, I for tell you, I don't want any lockdown again.
Right.
My body have immunity to sustain.
How do you know?
Yeah, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Really interesting. Hello, good morning to you.
Thank God. Sheriff.
What now? What did I do again?
Minister of 10 seconds.
Thank you.
I greet everybody in the studio, and I'm so excited to hear from Daddy Freeze. I'm one of his listeners at night. We don't sleep until Daddy Freeze leaves the airwaves. So I'm so happy to hear from him. And that blessing, I want to hear more of your voice, because now we are night crawlers. So we are in
the crawlers. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Alaji, let's speak with Alaji Garuba. Oh, God, that's Garuba. Okay. Alaji Garuba, good morning to you.
Good morning,
That's all he's
everybody in the studio.
Good
morning, Elijah.
I had the advert of this get together, but unfortunately I forgot and I just tuned in now. I really wanted to tap from the knowledge of all the ONC that are going to be present. I feel a little bit bad about it, but it's okay.
You can watch a replay on YouTube, and we still have
Okay.
45 minutes.
Quickly, I want to talk about the security situation of the country, especially in my part of the region.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to induct everybody who calls himself an elite in my region. All of them, one by one, they know themselves. I can't begin to mention them.
Okay.
Apart from the governors who are political in nature, they have to be politically correct. I have a lot of high-level business people who are known all over the world who come from my part of the country. And it's rather unfortunate what is happening.
Right.
I am not excited at all about what is happening. I come to Lagos and I have peace of mind. I go back to my community and I can't sleep with my two eyes closed. It is rather unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
Nigeria used to have the army that go to other country and do peacekeeping. It is difficult for a stranger to come to a land and make peace because the people he doesn't know the nook and cranny of that community. But Nigerians go to other African countries. We are going to Rwanda, we are going to Liberia, we are going to South Africa. The Nigerian army have gone and made peace in these other countries. So how come that same Nigerian army cannot make peace in the northern part of Nigeria especially? It's rather unfortunate. I don't care about politics. I don't care about anything political. What I want is for my people to have peace, for my people to go to the farm, for my people to have their lives back. It is very painful.
Right.
And all the people, the elite of the north, the people who have all the money, who have all the influence, they sit down there and there is a conspiracy of a devilish silence. Nobody is saying anything. Like I said earlier, I don't care about the governors. They are going to come and say the things that people want to hear. You understand? It is not about the president. The president is from Katsina. It's either he's in Katsina or he's in Abuja or he has traveled out of the country. We have people who are northerners, core northerners, who can make the peace, who can come together and decide that be you Boko Haram, be you Eswa, be you anybody, we have had enough. And if I tell you the truth, if they decide to put their hands on the table, this matter is going to be solved in a month. But unfortunately, I don't know what has happened to them. Everybody is your tent to Israel. This is just a passionate appeal. I hope they are listening. I'm not talking about government. The individuals, they know themselves in the north, from Kano to Meduguri to Katsina to all of the north. Please, let our young ones not see Nigeria as a country of sorrow, blood, and tears. We don't have to send our children abroad. They should stay here with us and enjoy our country. I'm sorry I'm taking a lot of your time.
Thank you.
I love
you gave me goosebumps.
listen all the time. Thank you
worth
very
it.
much.
Thank you, Alhaji.
Alhaji Garba, thank you for calling in. Appreciate
That was
it.
heartbreaking.
I got
Yeah.
goosebumps. Yeah, really.
Let our children not see Nigeria as a country of
Tears and bloods and sorrow.
Okay, guys, quickly now, let's move on from here. Let's talk about Abule Ado explosion. It was quite, I know, calm down. Why did he do that?
Yeah,
Teacher I.
Uncle I.
Okay, so talking about the Abule Ado explosion, it was quite a terrible one. It shook Lagos State. It shook the entire country, as a matter of fact. On the 15th of March, we actually even have a special report done on that particular development. Wimo, let's start with you.
So my hand went up high quickly because I've done quite a number of reports on pipelines in Lagos State.
Yeah.
And again, it's annoying, bordering on very painful and heartbreaking that we keep reporting the same things over and over again. I don't know how else to put it. It's mentally draining that you report. I remember the last report I did on Barua. I spent 4 months on that report investigating it, going as far as testing their water and finding that they have hydrocarbons 20 times than any human being should have contact with. And they bathe with this water.
Scientifically proven, by the way.
Scientifically proven.
Right.
And you do that kind of a report, this issue for Barua has been there for about 27 years, back to back. Nothing changes. I don't know what is wrong with us. We have pipelines from Mosimi down to wherever. We know where these pipelines are. We have budgets for maintaining these pipelines. We talked about security. I've worked with environment NGOs that work in the environment space. They've mentioned how we need to have to bring in tech Okay, so you can't assume the whole of the pipelines, but you can then identify where the leakages are.
Right.
And you have such pipelines. You have people building close to the pipelines. Again, they're also corporates. But it just appears, again, this is where we started from. Human life means nothing.
Absolutely.
Human life means nothing.
Just numbers.
Nothing. I can still remember the pictures I got from the explosion at Diamond Estate. The burnt body. I can't leave my memory. So every time I hear of an explosion, again, there was one some days ago, another explosion some days ago. Pipelines, tankers, petrol. These are the stuff that should give us money. But people are dying and we don't just care. We wait until the next one.
Ufoma.
So I actually had to ask Ijome Sek earlier today to send me the script of the special report you just talked about to more or less refresh my memory of what happened. Without mincing words, I think that's the best project the newsroom did in 2020.
Right.
There's no way you listen to that special report.
It's an amazing job, actually.
And not feel the empathy or human emotions attached to it. I'll just give you some names. Elizabeth Onyemadu. She had a shop close by. She woke up as usual, went for Sunday service. But her son, his wife, and another person,
That's
I
his
think
son's wife.
Elizabeth
Yeah.
Onyemadu. She's a woman.
Yeah.
Her son.
Has a wife.
The son's wife.
Yeah.
And then a cousin
Okay.
were at home. The wife was pregnant, I think. They all died in that explosion.
Quite sad.
That's just one person, telling the story from one person's angle. Lots of people had those kind of what's it called, experiences on that particular day. For why would someone go through that harrowing experience?
Yeah.
Someone's negligence, and like what Memo said, it's something that we will say God forbid, or say let it not happen again. But I bet you in 2021 there will most likely be another explosion somewhere. Because we haven't learned from what happened. Yes, we saw all the cameras, the governor, the president sending in representatives, and we talked about, it's not great. There was a fund, that was set up and all of that. But you see, the root causes, it hasn't been attended to.
There's a lot that town planning has to do with this particular issue that we're dealing with right now, because a lot of people are bidding on pipeline right away and all of it. And nobody actually is paying closer attention to how people erect their structures, not just in Lagos alone. I mean, virtually everywhere in the country. Sandra, you want to weigh in on this?
Right. This was the same explosion that had Bethlehem schools, right? Am I right?
That's right.
And I remember the heroism of a particular Reverend sister who went in to rescue as many students as possible and sadly lost her life. Incidentally, I had this conversation just yesterday on Hard Facts. If you didn't listen, you can look for our podcast. Hard Facts is available as a podcast. Search your streaming service for Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili and listen again, where I talked about how a lot of these atrocities are preventable, how they are avoidable, and how we almost seem to always do our best to not avoid it, to not prevent it. And then I also remember the outrage that the state government incurred from the citizens when they said that they were going to set up a relief fund, pay 200 million into the relief fund, and then citizens should donate the rest of the relief fund. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those stories that breaks your heart, especially when you think about the children who were involved in that story and tied to the Kankara boys who have been rescued last night. Nigeria finds a way to fail its young, to eat its young. And we honestly, the policymakers now, need to sit down and ask themselves and say to themselves, well, how do we change this? Because the answers are all out there. Nigeria Info does a stellar job of showing the answers every single day on every single show to the policymakers. So the how is out there. The willpower to do it, well, Joyce knows a lot about willpower, so I'll let her talk about that.
Joyce, you want to weigh in on the willpower?
There is no bridge between the government and the people, and somebody needs to build it. The government is either going to build it or the people need to build a link between the people and the government. It's pathetic. It's a sad situation that we can have something as this recur repeatedly, and what our government can best do is be reactionary. Like, you wait for somebody to die and then you give them money. We're dealing, it breaks my heart, how we nurse poverty. So you wait for a person to die and then you give their family money. We're supposed to believe that when you give a person money to, say, compensate for a loss, it's supposed to count for something. Where are the futurists? Where are the thinkers? How can we prevent this? What is being done? Who is being held accountable today?
You just hit the right word.
Who?
Accountability.
Who is going down for that? Because we didn't fix it yesterday. I can guarantee it's happening again tomorrow. Somebody sent me a video yesterday. He called on the show and said, "Oh, there's a gas leak somewhere along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway."
Right.
And I'm sitting here praying that the worst doesn't happen. But here we are. It could happen. And then I just have to say, may their soul rest in peace.
Thoughts and prayers.
Then somebody will call and say, God, come on.
So for me, quickly on this particular issue, Joyce hit the right word. Accountability. Unfortunately, our leaders are not accountable to us. They know that they are not answerable to us. Everything we do, say we go out to
they think they're not. It's a thinking.
Well,
they think they're not because we haven't demanded it.
The point I was trying to make is the accountability I'm talking about is when it comes to the 4-year cycle, elections. Mm-hmm. They know they can do whatever they like and find a way to, quote and unquote, win elections. Donald Trump lost election in 2020, partly because of COVID-19. If there was no COVID-19, there's a huge possibility Donald Trump would have been re-elected. But he's had to face accountability for not treating COVID-19 seriously. When we get to the point where the president knows that if I don't do things well, in 4 years' time, I will be voted out. Trust me.
Wrong. Scrap. Not in 4 years' time. That's our biggest problem. Is if you're not doing the right thing, you should be ousted now.
Well, hopefully we'll get to that. But I'm looking at the election cycle where something happens and the president doesn't talk to you. You only get Garba Shehu and a press statement, or you get Femi Adesina writing and telling you why you should know that the president is great.
And we're not even an island nation.
If they do know that every 4 years people will go,
I don't want to hear.
I understand what you're saying, but the point I'm trying to make is when our leaders, when the politicians are accountable in terms of knowing that our votes count, they won't treat us the way they are treating us. They're doing what they're doing because they know that they'll find a way to use whatever thugs they need. They'll find a way to use whatever.
Stop eating my table.
Whatever nomenclature.
It's a round table.
They'll find a way to go to whatever buildings and write results, and nothing would happen. That's why they take us for granted.
Oh, that's so sad.
I just have to draft.
Yes, Ada.
I just have to draft this while I think when was still talking. So let me just quickly say. I think at this point, the state government and also the federal government, they need to check, and they just need to check the rules and also set the infrastructural standards so as to avoid sort happening again. And also I feel that event was an eye-opener.
Okay.
Again, for government to get appropriate materials to encase pipeline infrastructure, especially materials that will not transit heat or fire.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Who's the Minister for Petroleum Resources again? Somebody remember?
Your president.
Wow. He needs to do something about this. He needs to speak up about these explosions. How can you have pipelines that become death traps?
Yeah.
If they need to move people away from those right of way, move them.
He has so
You
much.
did not see the story from last week that the petroleum ministry actually spent millions buying pens.
He's not giving.
Yes, I
To
saw
write
that one.
write what?
I saw that one.
You didn't see that story.
I saw it. What are they writing? We need to get them computers so they can stop writing so much.
All right, guys.
Really? And then we'll have a budget for internet.
At this age.
Gentlemen of the
There's
press.
always-
Gentlemen of the
there's always
press.
something
We need
somewhere.
to take a quick break again. When we return, we really must move forward to go talk about SARS. Stay here, Lagos. We're back.
Sarasoke.
One station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. hour. Every hour. Nigeria Info News. Let's talk.
Gone are the days when a man demands allegiance from his wife. The world is a completely different place from the one I came up in. In this day, you have to win her over by sharing a vision with her.
Today's woman comes armed with her own vision.
So you give her a better one. You have your work cut out for you. These women are fierce, intelligent, and the toast of the new world. A successful husband is one who's able to harness all these qualities and inspire harmony in the home.
And I thought I had left all the politicking behind as mayor.
Ah, my boy. Politics of family never ends.
Catch back-to-back episodes from Season 3 of Lagosa every Wednesday and Thursday, 6:15 p.m., Friday, 6:45 p.m. on Nigeria Info 99.3. Starring Femi Jacobs and Olu Jacobs as Olorogun. Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. Are you ready?
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Welcome back to the round table here from our live studios.
Welcome back.
And Etimi and Chris Ewemo.
Welcome back.
Why do you smoke?
There's a pot.
That was so uncouth. That was like, what did you smoke? Like, that's so rude, man.
You see your life?
She's my buddy.
It's a football term.
She's my buddy.
No, of course. It's a Nigerian thing.
there?
It's a Nigerian, and sometimes it nearly sounds complimentary. Like, are you crazy?
Okay, guys, welcome. Let's talk about NSTARS. I'm gonna start with our Obo, who is just who's been here and been very calm, like. Let's talk NSARS. It's a long thing, but we're gonna make this very. Everybody, let me beg you first. Let's make this very short because of time.
Yeah, so we can take calls.
Okay, Algo, please take two. NSARS, your thought.
Yes, Shaku Maku again. Let me say first and foremost that this is a fantastic event. I think it's more interesting watching from the back room than being in the studio even because of all the activity going. We should do it behind the scene.
Right.
Well, yeah. So I bumped into Onyechi's Skype and stole her. Yeah, just like the background makes sense, right? Yeah. So the NSAS protest was a positive thing for me, in the sense that for long we've been advocating that people sort of take their destiny in their hands in how governance works. And, when those protests began and then they began to drag on for days, and had a discussion with someone, I said, for all of those people who had been killed extrajudicially, those numbers we oftentimes talk about in the news, if Amnesty or Human Rights Watch or even Nigerians government put out those numbers, you hear 7,000 dead extrajudicial killing, 10,000 dead extrajudicial killing. So we got to see those people for the first time, assembled, many of them at the different places across the country. Importantly, in Lagos, we saw them at Lassa and we saw them at the Toll Gate Plaza, which was a positive thing in the way it happened. And the generation of people who were involved, it was fantastic. It also gave us the opportunity to try for ourselves, this particular generation who had been silent for many years. And for me, I'd like to leave it at that in the way the protest happened and did generate a lot of conversation. And would want to state specifically that the riots were not the NSAS protests. A lot of people have confused both terms to call those horrible riots that happened outside the protest grounds, link them up with the protest. A number of media will say NSAS protests and show us riot footage. The riots happened after the NSAS, and for me, it was positive in the way it happened, and did look at what happened in closing. The panels of inquiry happened. I know it's a matter of conjecture to say whether there was any success because the policemen are still doing what they know, what the bad guys are still doing what they know how to do best, But for me, it was one positive story in the way the numbers of people went outside to make their voices heard.
Indeed. Let me come to Nata next on the end SARS. We're gonna make this very short, Nata. Yes, I had to.
Okay, yes. So the question I have, it's almost like I always have a question. I have a question, because I went to the toll, I participated in the protest, but for me, there was a point where I felt as though we lost the purpose of this protest, because I saw a lot of people go there. It was just about the fun. It was just about dancing, taking pictures, meeting your faves, quote unquote.
Don't forget the food.
The food also. And as I also saw a lot of young adults, my generation, take marijuana. It was so normal at the Lekki toll. And
I saw those
yeah,
too.
so that's the big question for me. Yes, we want to make our voices heard. We want to tell the government just how we feel. But isn't there a better way we could have gone about it? And at what point should we have even stopped? Because people also said we're taking it too far. We should have let the government actually step in. So there's a lot of questions that I have to ask, but I'm just going to leave it to this.
Here's what I think.
Speak to that. Can I speak to that very briefly?
Yes, please.
Now, of course, I don't support the the distractions and how the protests seem to have shifted focus at some point. However, I think that was a great way to get the government's attention, because we've been on social media for years now, but the government, we didn't seem to get the attention the way we did. But being able to disrupt the day-to-day movement of the city, affect some people's major sources of income, that clearly got their attention. And they listened to us, even though the battle, I wouldn't say has been won yet. It hasn't been won yet.
Did you take marijuana with
That's the question. Did you take?
Distractions aside, but it was a great way to get their attention and to let them know that we are awake, we're seeing these things, and we can do something, and we can be united, because unity was one thing that showed forth in that whole demonstration, and that was beautiful.
I actually disagree that there was distraction. To be honest,
I was about to say that too.
Because sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. So because you look at protests all over the world, I think what's happening is a clash of generations. Old people are used to going to these protests, and which is surprising because Nata is not old. They go to these protests, they carry placards. Give us our rights. But these days, protests are different. Like the protests happening in Hong Kong, people are doing like fashion parades on the streets. The protests happening in, I'm trying to remember that country now, where they have a king and they're trying to overthrow the monarchy and institute democracy. They're doing fashion parades on the streets. Black Lives Matter, they were doing dance competitions, they were doing modeling exercises, they were doing all kinds of things. Because protests are hard to sustain. You need to keep the people engaged. You need the people to be motivated to come out and entertain while they are pressing their demands. It's difficult to come out and congregate in a place and just sit down there and be shouting, give us our rights, give us our rights. It's difficult to do. So I disagree with the people who say it was a distraction. Right. I think it was wrong to do drugs there. And if police had been doing their jobs, they would have come there and picked up the people who were doing drugs. But like everything that happened during the protest, even the snooker table or even the eating or the drinking, I think it was just a new way, and Nigerians need to open their minds to how things happen today.
Okay. So here's the big question that I'm still going to ask. At what point, that's if you say the protesters should have stopped, at what point should they have stopped to let the government step in?
So here's the thing, and I think it's a big disinformation and disservice. So they say the talk then was, okay, we started listening to your demands. Stop. Right? After the protest stopped, somebody went to court. Not somebody. The legal department of the Nigerian police went to court. What did they go to court to do?
To go and try and stop the panel.
To stop one of the supposed outputs, from the NSAS protest. When the uproar, everybody started talking about it, the police had to, oh no, how did this happen? We don't know how it happened. Okay, we'll investigate. Sheriff, has anything come out of that investigation?
I'm not sure.
Not that we know of.
So here's the thing. The truth of the matter is that you can talk about you're not supposed to go do drugs.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Yeah, all of those
in Nigeria,
all of those little.
It's been decriminalized in other places.
I agree. All of those little things were here and there, but it's. I think it would be a bit of a disservice to point out those things, which were minor, and leave out the crux of the matter. The crux of the matter, and I repeatedly said this at the time.
Yeah.
The Nigerian government still deals with protests same way they dealt with it in 1966, same way they dealt with it in 1970, same way they dealt with it in 1995. For the love, was it protest in 95? 93, 94. For the love of God, this is 2020. Unfortunately, they're still dealing with it like they dealt with it 30 years ago.
And you should using analog to fix the digital.
Just one more sentence.
One more sentence. Off your mic,
No,
Honorable Minister.
I have off my mic.
I think it is very heartbreaking to see how the government interacts with her people. Again, there needs to be a link. The Nigerian system needs to have a human face. The leadership needs to understand that they're there to serve. If you try to oppress people and silence people and repress people, it really only takes so long, and then the people pretty much believe that they have nothing to lose. The SARS protests, believe me, I thought I've never seen Nigeria ever unified. I mean, I thought that I've heard the term One Nigeria, but I thought I saw it play out during the SARS movement. I'm happy that it happened. All these things y'all are complaining about, I didn't see it. It was probably there, but maybe because I wasn't paying attention to it.
I saw it.
Well, I didn't, and I don't care whether it happened. Yeah. I think what is necessary to underscore here is police brutality. The fact that it is still ongoing, the fact that the government is not taking it seriously, the fact that the government thinks it can expect its people to keep quiet in the face of brutality, extortion, intimidation, repression, and just the fact that psychologically it is practically impossible. You would pretty much get to a point in Nigerian society where the man on the street wants you to kill him. There are no jobs. You demoralize people. You strip them of human dignity, and then they have to deal with everything else that's happening economically. It really just would be that long before something happens. I'm glad the Nigerians spoke up.
Yeah.
And it is good to see that Nigerians can agree on one thing in a very long time. You guys never really agree on anything. I'm glad that
you guys like
you
guys. Okay, so for me,
take calls, or they will kill you today, Sheriff.
We'll take calls.
I need to highlight that NSAS
for president. See why they like you.
NSAS was more than Lekki.
Okay.
Yep. We keep forgetting that.
Yes.
NSAS was Abuja, was Enugu, was Abia, was every other
was
other
Oshogbo.
Was Oshogbo, was Ondo State.
Was Delta.
Delta State.
Yes.
NSAS was more. Lekki was central in the things that happened, but NSAS is bigger than
Lekki was sensational.
Sensational.
Because of what happened.
And also NSAS is beyond police brutality. While it highlights police brutality, it was a volcanic eruption of other things.
Frustrations.
Pent-up anger. And I felt three things in this particular order. I felt pride. Seeing young people own up.
People took back their pride.
Oh my goodness. I saw youth.
They took it back.
You know what made me feel proud especially? Was that these people believed that this was their country.
Yeah.
And they had a right to make it better. I felt pride. I also felt hope that, maybe things can change in this country. Finally, I felt anger. Of course, I was mad when the things that happened then happened. One of the things that made me mad was also the kickback from the police. One of the things that these protesters were demanding was better welfare for the police. So when I saw the kickbacks, it's like, what's wrong with you guys? This protest is going to make you guys better. You get more money. You enjoy your lives. Yeah. But they didn't like it. I also liked that ladies shone brightly during the protest. Yeah. For once, we had gender equality and nobody was saying, oh, you're a woman, why are you there? Yes. I saw the babes. Yeah. And the organization was superb. I saw ladies running stuff, on a cool level with accountability. And that's what I want to see across board. Right. If we could have that, can we replicate it? Can we give a chance to these young persons, including myself and you all here, to pitch into this country and make it work? Why don't you want it to work?
Good question.
I also saw love.
A minute. Lest we forget, let's also remember that lots of people lost their lives, including security operatives.
Yes. Right.
Policemen lost their lives.
Yes.
Some caught up in the crossfire.
Yeah.
Ordinary citizens lost their lives, all because a lot of persons in the country wanted to let the government know that they needed to do what was right. Unfortunately, the reaction from government, they can say whatever they want. And this is me speaking personally now.
Right.
They can say whatever they want to say. Oh, we've set up panels. Oh, we've done this. Oh, we've done that. The biggest problem from the NSAS protest was that the present government ruling the country today got into power more or less from protests. And so for them, to a large extent, from their actions, from the things they said, it felt like to them, it felt like, oh, this was a regime change.
Yeah.
And that's why you saw all the force. Someone went to do her...
For 10 seconds.
Someone went to do her papers, her passports yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? And she discovered she's been blacklisted.
Wow.
Why? She's part of the persons whose account numbers have been frozen by the CBN. Tells you all you need to know.
So there is huge witch hunting going on.
Yeah.
Even the caterer that took part in that particular protest.
That's the person I'm talking about. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that much in a bit. Ada, you wanted to chip in something earlier.
No. I just wanted to add to what Wemima was saying. What happened, what we saw during the protest, the love, the unity. I mean, that was the very first time I got to see Christians and Muslims like bonding together. I was like, wow, you misplace your phone, you see people keeping the phone for you, asking for the honors, and people contributing money to help the less. I was like, wow, this is the dream Nigeria. But all of a sudden, like, we just went back to normal, like nothing happened.
Nothing happened out of fear.
Nigeria
I think people got very scared. But quickly, Wemima said something that she saw the young people do things smoothly and all of that. But, contrary to popular opinion, I don't think the young ones will do better. Because people have said, let's give the young ones the chance. They'll probably rule the country. But I feel maybe if you get to that level and you're exposed to that amount of resources and money, you just might be as corrupt as what we're dealing with right now. I'm just saying. So I don't think it's about the younger generation or whatever.
So. You know why
I don't think the younger generation will, quote unquote, do better than what we have right now.
You know why I think that?
I'm just on the just side. No, let's be honest. I'm not going to take side because you're my age.
I'm
just saying.
I think that the young persons will. Here's why.
Why?
We talked about our...
The young ones are just as corrupt as the older ones.
No, they're not. We talked about our whacked mentality.
That's a big subject on its own.
We talked about our whacked mentality that was created. We were beaten into submission. Our parents were beaten into submission. So they think they shouldn't demand stuff.
Right.
These young persons, many of these people in this generation were not beaten by the military. So there's a bit more freedom of thinking for you. So you're able to question things. This is why you're able to also innovate and create stuff. So tech has boomed in Nigeria, for instance. Now the global village has become a village. So now people can network. I believe that young persons can do things better than the older ones, who many of them were also military officers. Now they're wearing agbada and suits. So what has changed? But you haven't experienced military rule in that sense, not so much of it. So I expect that democracy should thrive better in the hands of young people.
Indeed. Let's still go and take some feedback from the telephone.
Oh, okay.
I'm laughing because...
I'm having such a good time.
Please, any good news anywhere? Do we have any good news this year?
Yeah, we're trying to look for good news. Please help us search for one.
Wow.
What happened?
Boys were received last night. That's good news.
Let's speak with Ebuka. Let's speak with Ebuka is joining us right now. 0700 993 993 993 is the studio line. Ebuka, good morning to you.
At last. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning to you. Please take 60 seconds. Go on.
30 seconds.
I call every presenter of Nigeria Info a veteran. Good morning, all.
Yeah, thank you.
It has been wonderful, awesome, mind-blowing, just name it. And all I could ask for is a repeat performance of this.
You want a repeat? Oliver Twist.
Don't worry. We have a New Year edition.
We're not even done with this one.
Bills on you.
Let's speak with Abednego. Abednego, good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yes. Please, on the letter note, nobody should forget Kayode. Not in a hurry. It will be unfair. And import. Okay.
What's the joke?
It's talking about sweepers.
Kayode.
Okay. Will you let me talk?
Okay, guys. We would go on a short break in a moment. But before we go, we have some messages to pass around. I'm not sure we can extend the time. I would have loved for us to extend the time, but we can't. We've come to the end of the show. Many thanks to everybody.
No, good news. Kankara boys are back. They came back yesterday. That's good.
That's good news. So we'd like to say a very big thanks to all our partners, our business partners, the sponsors, everybody that this year made sure that Nigeria Info stays on the air by doing business with us. So we're just going to start very quickly from my immediate left. Joyce has some people to thank.
A very big thank you to Media Perspectives Limited, Media Reach, OMD, Media Share, Momentum Media Limited, PhD Nigeria, Algorithm Media, Media Share Nigeria, Total Recall, Scout Media, and Media Sale. Thank you very much.
Let's say a big thank you also to Crystal Links Limited, Bio Oil, HF Market Limited, Coart Ventures, Sabrina Drink, Pearl Brand Communication, Explicit Media, Bowen University, IFITech and Associate Limited. We say a big thank you also to Unicaf Educational Service.
And a big thank you also to Universal MC Khan, Max Edge, SDM Communication Limited, Quadrant Media, Space Media. Thank you also to Ruby's Consult, Peacock Media, Media 100, Value Index Media, and a big thank you to also Fuel Communication.
All right, a very big thank you to Africa Ford Rice, Spa Nigeria, Kunga.com, P. Alexine, Brand Yard, Sant Consults, Jobberman, Black House Media, Dominus, Breakthrough, and of course, Permutation Media.
And of course, thank you to BD Consults, M and Countrymen Communication, Tony Elumelu Foundation, DLC Media, Orange Drugs Limited, Net Plus, African Media Warehouse, Alexia Media Solutions, Lumos Global, and Trust Fund Pension PLC. Thank you very much.
Indeed. Thank you to all our business partners. I will round it off by thanking All Seasons Mediacom, Brand First Resources Limited, Brand I, BAP Sumo Communications, Image Link Communications, Brand Key Concepts Limited, Core Limited, Intensity Media, Mech Global, Novo Porte and R, and Media Fuse Limited and Carrot Limited. Many thanks to all of our media partners. So, guys, one last word from everybody before we go. Where do we start from? Let's start from Joyce.
So, the group is going to the beach. I'm not.
Really?
Come on!
Yeah, sell out.
You're so vain.
Hey!
They're telling me to work. That's what they're telling me.
But everyone wants to hear
but
you
I've
talk
told you, we'll stream it live. Just put the phone in front of you.
Can you imagine? Sheriff is such a mean soul. He wants to live stream their fun having at the beach so I can watch it from. It's okay. But I think I want to say that I am happy to be Nigerian.
Okay, bye. Ufoma.
Really?
It's been an amazing show. Hopefully 2021 will bring better news and we'll get all the possibilities.
Later.
Yes, so I want to say a very big thank you to the Nigeria Info family and everybody that listens to us. I know it's been a very hard year. I've had my share, but we cannot stop. I mean, we have to keep hopes alive and keep pushing. Hopefully 2021 would make that money or break through as much as we want to.
Ada?
All right. I want to say thank you so much to everyone sticking with us. I mean, it's been great. I really love being here, and I just pray that we get to spend more fun years. And of course, tonight. Oh, I'm saying tonight. I'm used to nights. Wow. This afternoon we're gonna have a whole lot of fun. Joyce, sorry in advance.
But it lasts till 6 o'clock. Joyce has 3 hours.
Okay, one more.
Terrible
Well, I want to say a big thank you to everyone. We're Nigeria Info because you keep listening.
Yes.
And I'm so glad to see the growth of our listeners in terms of engagement. So keep listening.
Sandra.
Hard Facts has 970,000 listeners.
Just in Lagos.
Blow your
trumpet. Just
But
in Lagos.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, my lovely listeners. Today I will not be on air because I'll be wearing beach cloth and going to the beach and having beach stuff. So I'm a
Who told you that you would not
don't
come
mind
to
her.
work? Anyways, no confess. Freeze.
All right. Let me say something.
Daddy Freeze said this year was going to be rugged. And he was pretty rugged.
Go on, Freeze. Go on quickly, please.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much to all our wonderful listeners. Big shout out to Ada who makes Live and Dangerous possible. Koboko Man. Moses, all our listeners who quarrel with us and at the same time love us. Thank you so much. Big shout out also to our sponsors, 9 Mobile,
Yeah.
Dale Pay, Nevada Bridge TV,
Yeah.
AdLogic Crown Flour, Zenith Bank, Veritas, Stanbic IBTC Bank, Nigerian Breweries PLC, and Samsung, as well as a shout out to the agency that did business with the station this year. Thank you so much, everyone. Look out for Live and Dangerous and keep it on 99.3 Nigeria Info, the station where love lives.
Awesome. This was so much fun doing this with everyone. Thank you to the listener for being here. Like Wemimo said, we are here because of you. And God willing, 2021 will be much better and we'll see you there. Also have a few businesses to thank for doing business with us. I'll make it very fast. Fidelity Bank, Sky Bank, Future Finance, Chain Reaction Media, Biz Alert Trade Fair, PFC African Communications Ltd, MBA Forex, Pro Targets, and Eat and Go. See you at the beach, people.
Yes!
I'll go 10 seconds. I'll go 10 seconds, please.
Shakumaku.
Wow. What's going on?
This is my wedding anniversary.
Wow. Wahala for who never marry you.
I'm telling you.
Congratulations.
Let's go to the
Congratulations to you. Thank you, Lagos, for making us a part of your day today. Thank you for listening to Nigeria Info. We love you. We love you.
Do.
So Joyce is starting. Joyce, sorry, yeah.
News at 12.
Okay, yeah. News at 12 first.
Music all through the sunny side.
Bye.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Depend on us for the best in talk.
99.3
Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.